was unmoved by fate. The truth has a way of finding the light or changing in time. Did I fall in love? Did I make it up inside my mind?
Welcome one and all to another amazing night here in Tranquility.
We absolutely are in for a treat of a match here tonight, no question about it.
That's a grenade from Pomku, eliminate everybody on the field.
Now I'm doing something as well. It's going to be a fly death and death block them, and it's going to be huge. Fighting three.
The double kill with the Bastion ulti? Alright, I see you guys.
For B-Well, look to find a stick there, finds the stick, they find two with it!
Those who find the picks will save the fight, and they don't really need to save what they've already won.
And Cam with the four-man punch off the map!
Experience tranquility.
Hello, everybody. Sorry.
Oh, you got it. Go ahead.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm overflowing with excitement already as it is. It's the qualifiers. You know how this goes. It's Tranquility. It's bare to the bones. People are getting pretty gritty here. Dexatron. Holy smokes! Look at these two teams we've got here.
Yeah, two of the best teams here in the Transcendence Tier. The number 4 Billings Boomers going up against the number 6 Devil Dukes here tonight. Now, this is a very good matchup. As you know, we are in essentially the final 8 teams here. Winner goes on to the final 4. Loser, their season's done. But, you know, McMissile, you said you have a lot on these two teams right now. So why don't you lay some facts down?
I did. I wrote a nice little presentation for each of these teams. Billings Boomers with a 3-1 loss against Guangzhou Gangsters last week with a nice 3-minute New Queen Street steamroll banger to top that off. But Devil Dogs got 3-0'd by the Guangzhou Gangsters week 11, which means Billings Boomers, they took a map off one of the best teams in Transcendence Tier. Billings Boomers also won a map 5 that week against the Hammerheads, who were eventually eliminated, showing the Boomers have some respectful justice behind their victories and losses. Word on the curb, saying that they're right just below the Guangzhou Gangsters in skill, with a lot of the talk leaning towards Devil Dukes being the somewhat weaker team in these qualifiers. But I mean, Bowsy didn't even have the Devil Dukes in the qualifiers, so I think that says more about Bowsy than it does the Devil Dukes, who seem to be making quite the little run. And as for those Dukes of the Devil, they had a map 5 win against Delta last week, also going to round 5 on Kings Row and Junkertown, knocking Delta out of the championship bracket in an animalistic banger, which everybody seemed to vibe with. In addition, they had a tussle with Throwing Your Bad in week 10, and I dare say it might have had some part in leading to that team's demise.
A lot of facts there, but we do know what our first map of the night is gonna be. We're gonna be heading to Greece here. We're gonna be going to Ilios.
Oh man, what a hellish map to start this off with. It can be so competitive. You can see, especially like on Ruins or something like that, or Lighthouse, pretty diverse comps all around. And with Ruins being something a bit more favoring to, I mean, with this new Junker Queen patch though, that'll bring in a nice little question of how that kind of works with the run a sniper on Ruins, run brawl on Lighthouse. So the comps it's gonna be a mishmash.
I think it's going to be a mismatch of comps, but eventually I do think we're going to see the comps kind of go to something that we kind of expect to see on these maps. It might not necessarily be Junker Queen from the start, but I don't necessarily think it's ever get to that point either. Maybe it actually does, though. Maybe it's a Junker Queen v Junker Queen at one of these points.
Probably. And hey, one of the maps, they do have the Junker Queen statue now from the Olympus event, so we might see that in homage. One of these teams did play a mean Junker Queen on Nepal. I believe it was the Devil Dukes. Played a nice Junker Queen. They had a nice little support comp who can play something a lot more mobile and a lot more bunkery. So again, see, we'll just have to see how it kind of plays out and leading into this. It's gonna come down to which exact map it's gonna be, but I think it's gonna be maybe something more brawly. I may dare say.
Honestly, I would kind of expect that for an Ilios. Maybe the only map I would truly expect something of a dive or just something besides Brawl would maybe be possibly Lighthouse as well. I feel like Ruins really does play well into a Brawl, especially with how well Junker Queen is at the moment. Same thing with Ryan and Ramatra. But, speaking of that, as I talked about that, I feel like, we could potentially see some dive comps come out here.
Yeah, on Well especially. Like you mentioned the Ramatra, totally forgot that hero even existed. But yeah, I think Well maybe something a bit more divey. I know in comp it's like, oh, just run Hog, just run Lucio. This isn't your average comp. This is Transcendence Tier. This is qualifiers. We might see something a little bit more Ramatra, but I think a dive would be also pretty accepted on Well specifically because you can play around that kind of center really well. No pun intended.
Yeah, but just looking at these two teams here, I wish I had more information about how these two teams like to play, because that gives us a lot of information, and a lot of knowledge into the inside of how these teams want to kind of, go into this one here. But McMissile, you did some like you already talked about. You did some notes on these teams. You went back and watched some stuff. Did you learn anything from these two teams, like what comps they like to play? If there's a certain person we should be watching out for, but maybe you won't even have to as we head into the first map here tonight.
Oh, thank goodness gracious, because I did not. I'm a very visual creature. Looks like Obese Chicken gonna be the team kind of comp, running out with the kind of Junker Queen to start this off with. But it looks like Itositos with something a bit more meaner with the Ana Lucio. Got the Pharah as well. Pharah not even with a Mercy Pocket as well. Looks like they're maybe actually having composition that counters what exactly the Devil Dukes on this red here are throwing down.
And you spend so much time talking about it, and they immediately swap off of all the heroes you were talking about. Wow. They love to do that with us here. But, basically, actually, no, it is a straight mirror match right now for these two teams. It's really going to come down to who has the better kind of comp with this one.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty much a mirror matchup. Dragon with a first line, nice opening pick onto the main healer of Devil Dukes.
Yeah, you immediately see everyone here for the Boomers try to just dive in here on the Obese Chicken. They're able to find them, but in the midst of all that, they lose Silver Tiles and Ryan. However, Toast able to take care of Apples. That should be the first point here, going over to the Billings Boomers, and with these final couple kills going their way, it will be.
Yeah, holy smokes. I kind of thought the fight was going to go Billing Boomer's way with that nice little pick off to the Moira, but it looks like the rest of the team, that kind of Lucio really working in factor for the side of the Billings Boomers, and now it looks like Duck's actually going off to that Kiriko.
It's not a swap I don't hate here. The Kiriko still is very strong in my opinion at the moment, especially with Suzu being able just to cleanse a lot of stuff. Still, but right now you see Apple's trying to get as much damage as they possibly can. They have to blink themselves out of there because they were gonna die if they stayed any more time in their last spot. But right now, Obese Chicken trying to get rid of Ryan here. Ryan getting incredibly low before they're able to fall back and get healed right back up.
Holy smokes, and now it looks like it's going to be quite the frontline kind of war here. Enunciated by Obese Chicken's nice little Junker Queen ultimate is going to catch out Poofa, but it is going to be traded. No Lucio's for other side. This is going to be a very sturdy kind of slow-moving brawl here with another kind of trade. Both Genjis out of the fight now. It is quite the mirror heading into this 50%.
Yeah, both Rampages were used there. The Rampage, though, for Obi's Chicken was probably a little bit more valuable. However, Toasty Toast was able to immediately confirm the kill on the Womp Domp there. However, Womp Domp coming back into the fight, able to get their beat off, and that will be able to win them this fight here. Poofa falls. Now all they're trying to do is get rid of Dragon, and they should be able to here with all 4 members alive. It will be a point flip, but 70% giving over to the Billings Boomers here first.
Yeah, holy smokes. They did saw that out, that extra bout, like 40%. That was fantastic stuff. Both teams really mirroring down exactly which characters on both sides they want to nail down. And no ultimates really coming into too much effect here. And now you're going to get to see, oh my goodness gracious, 4 ultimates for the side of Billings Boomers. But there is going to be a Kitsune pressed by Ducks here. And now Apple's trying to enunciate that.
Dragon Blades coming out from both sides here. Ryan finds one. They also find Womp Domp there. Sun falls as well. Obi's Chicken, though, able to find Ryan. However, the damage already done by that man there. And Dragon with the double pulse bomb kill to get a team kill and a point flip.
Holy, Ducks had the fantastic foresight of pressing that Kitsune earlier. They knew how much advantage Billings Boomers had coming into this. You know, they knew they got a lot of value from those fights, the economy. Ducks, it was just maybe not enough in the right way. I mean, Billings Boomers just play this so fast. Apples, you saw the pulse bomb go, and you saw the Genji Blade come out from Sunless Fiber, but the way Billings Boomers play these fights is just so aggressive. They really like playing around the statue and playing around these kind of just minor obstacles, and it's really giving them the upper hand in a lot of these niche scenarios.
Rampage ready here for Obi's Chicken. Toast about to have theirs. Rampage coming out now from Obi's Chicken. It's going to be used in desperation here. Already 2 members of the Devil Dukes down. Now they have to get back to point, but Toasty Toast going to be able to take care of Obi's Chicken with their own Rampage, finding Sunless Fiber after that, and we do not see Womp Domp able to touch the point in time. Billings Boomers will take the first sub-map here on Ilios.
No, I think that Mora gave a lot of advantage to Boomers in a lot of those scenarios. Kind of just a no brain, no game, just pressing a lot of healing and then getting free damage, essentially. Kiriko's damage is not free. You gotta really stop and think about what you want to do, and I think that maybe gave them an advantage there, Billings Boomers. But also, a lot of the time, Double Dukes, they wanted to press their ultimates in ways that were kind of a bit more defensive or a bit more, dare I say, more structured, in ways that are like, oh, mathematical, oh, do this and that. Methodical is the word I'm looking for, but Billings Boomers, they made a rhythm on their own, and I think Toasty Toast leading the way with a lot of those fights, the aggression, exactly where they took those fights. Obese Chicken, Sunless Fiber, it's really hard to really find out who you even want to dive on in those scenarios, but it looks like Devil Dukes sticking with their Kiriko composition.
Yeah, really no swaps coming out from either side here. I'm actually surprised we're not seeing Ducks go back to a Moira here, but Ducks immediately shutting me up, finding Dragon there very early. A nice pick off from them because Dragon got into the backline really quick last round and was able to find a kill fast, which kind of gave the Boomers the advantage right now. But now you see the Devil Dukes here just forcing back the Boomers here. Ryan falls, Poofa falls, and now essentially this is just a free point cap here for the Devil Dukes.
Yeah, and look at that. It's so free that they're not even capping it. I mean, holy smokes. They're still keeping this choke point aggression, and last map, that's kind of where they kind of lost their footing a lot of times. The choke point control was had in the name of Billing Boomers a lot of the time, about 90% of the time, and Devil Duke's trying to take that away here, which is a fantastic. They're gonna use Shout a little bit early to try and stay it, but it looks like Billings Boomers slowly making their aggression, and they're coming up close on a coalescence.
Yeah, but right now Apple's getting really low here, having to recall themselves there to keep themselves alive. They do have their pulse bomb ready. First one with an ultimate ready right now, looking for someone. Looks like their target is Moira, and gonna be able to find Super Tulsa there without using the pulse bomb. Now they're focusing in on Poofa, but Ryan finally gets a kill here for the Billings Boomers in this second point. Toasty Toast followed up on the Sunless Fire. Ducks falling as well. Rampage is coming out from both queens here. Who will find more damage right now? It's up in the air, but looks like the point finally flipped. Toasty Toast will take care of Obi's Dragon. Dragon taking care of Womp Domp. Billings Boomers, a nice team fight win there. One they desperately needed, and in my opinion, if they lost that one there, it was starting to snowball for the Devil Dukes.
Yeah, Obi's Dragon almost got that queen diff right there. I mean, holy smokes. Gotta hand it to them. They are at 31%, and they do have 4 ultimates. Billings Boomers have about 3, but Devil Dukes, again, they have that Kiriko, and I think that has so far been quite the advantage for their team so far. It looks like it is going to fall, but it looks like it's going to be a 5v4 now. Not necessarily out of this fight just yet.
Yeah, the Coalescence coming out from Sotel is a huge kind of counter to that Kitsune Rush there from Ducks, and you know, we've seen 2 Kitsune Rushes here from Ducks, and each time it has resulted in almost a team kill for the Billings Boomers. They have not really worked out so far. That's why you see Ducks immediately swapping back to this Moira. And I think this is a perfect time to do it, just because of they got rid of their Kitsune Rush and their whole team pretty much died.
All part of the plan. And you've got Lucio Beat, you got 2 DPS ultimates. This is looking very fantastic now that you're kind of like mirroring this. You're at 31%, you're kind of being chilling. Looks like the blade is going to be had for Ryan. Tries to press it, but a beautiful beat from Womp means the aggression is had for Devil Dukes.
Beats coming out from both sides, but right now the Devil Dukes finding the kills they need right now. Billings Boomers gonna try to hold on to this point as long as they can. Down a couple members, make it down even more with Poofa falling there. Silvertails though, still up. Actually, no, they're not. Dragon Falls as well. It's just up to Toast, who at this point looking like they're just gonna try to fall back, keep themselves alive so they're not staggering.
Yeah, you can already kind of see Sunless Fiber kind of thriving with this newfound sort of aggression with Devil Dukes here. Obese Chicken also, you know, thriving from that good split from Ducks. Looks like they're already holy smokes, the aggression is just right there on your screen in 4K right there. Sunless Fiber knocking that off with a headshot, but 2 ultimates again for Devil Dukes. Their economy has been fantastic since the first round, but now you're really getting to see it thrive in a lot of different ways. No beat for, well, no support ultimates for either side, so it's gonna be kind of a mayhem fight.
Yeah, but you know, you could basically say there's 2 ultimates ready for the Boomers as well. Toastos sets up a rampage of their own to try to counter or answer Obese Chicken's rampage. And Dragon about to have a pulse bomb here, but you just cannot have Dragon fall early in this fight. Ryan trying to get as much damage on to Obese Chicken as they can. The rampage comes out, hits 3 members of the Billings Boomers. Poofa already falling. Toastos having to hide in a corner to keep themselves alive, but that will only be temporary as Apples shuts them down and Silvertails.
Apples to apples, 2 picks. That was kind of a lame fun. It's an old board game, but what is something not new? What is something very fresh is what just went down right there. But also a lot of point percent had for Devil Dukes and quite the advantage yet again. Ducks the only one with an ultimate, but Tostitos the only one with an ultimate for Billings Boomers, and I dare say they have the advantage there. But as I say that, Poofa is cut.
Here comes a rampage out from Toast. It only hits Obese Chicken, but Billings Boomers trying now to recap the point here. They do find one. However, Silvertails immediately falls after that. Toast does find a support of their own there to kind of even things out. Now they're desperately trying to get rid of Obese Chicken here. Ducks, though, able to find Dragon. Toast in a world of their own here. Puma is back, but how long will they be able to stay alive with all that's going on? Toast does find Ducks. However, Poofa falls as well, so now it's just up to Toast again. And how long can this Jungle Queen stay alive? It's not going to be that long. Apples will hand them a swift punch to the face and bring us to a point 3.
I have a counterpoint. You say Toasty Toast did not live a long time. Toasty Toast lived so long, basically saw a new day. Holy smokes. Devil Dukes completely kind of started just working around Toasty Toast. They recognized that a lot of the fight for Billings Boomers is centered around, oh, if Junker Queen gets a lot of value, then the rest of the team kind of follows suit. But if you kind of nail down everyone else other than that Junker Queen, leaving him for last or something like that, then you kind of saw a lot of success. That was more so leading towards the second half, the latter half of that kind of round. It was captured in 4K at the very end, but now we're moving into Well. This is a very different story from either of those 2 recent maps. There's a big well in the middle, and there's those 2 kind of left sides or right side you can play around. It's going to be interesting to see how both Genjis kind of make use of their kind of mobility, especially considering Tracer, you know, has so much of it. Looks like they are going to be kind of both moving to the right side, but as you can see, Apple's already kind of sizing up the, it looks like Tracer is kind of sizing up that kind of offsides. Ryan pressing it.
Yeah, it looks like both teams want to take this fight to the small room off the point right now. Billings Boomers having to kind of fall back here, making sure they're not going to be taken out here first. Sunless Fiber, though, getting really far and has to dash out there to keep themselves alive. Both Genjis using their deflects to try to deflect as much damage as they can back at the other team. Point is open. Devil Dukes going to be the first one to take the fight to a point here, but Apples fighting Poofa is such a huge pick for them. It allows them to easily cap the first point. Billings, though, able to find 1 kill right back.
Yeah, and Sonic Genji, you're kind of maybe, I dare say, wanting to favor the Tracer for these kind of long range, the sustains for these fights on Well. Genji is something a bit more, you know, kind of like a Sojourn where you kind of get that mid-fight damage, but it looks like already the fight is still unraveling before our very eyes. Looks like Dragon falling dangerously low, but this is a fantastic sustain from Billings Boomers, and now 20% in, the ultimates are coming out. Ducks is trying their damnedest.
Rampage is coming out from both sides, and oh my goodness, the rampage coming out from Obese Chicken hits 4 members of the Boomers, but no one falls. Instead, it's Toast and Dragon finding 3 members of the Devil Dukes. Now they're just trying to clean up the remaining 2. Down goes Apples, and down goes Sunless Fiber as well. It'll be a team kill and a point flip.
Oh, dude, right there, Dragon's got a nice little 3K with a Tracer diff headshot, and then, oh man, the Genji diff to nail that off from Ryan. Ryan having a blade, 40% faster than Sunless Fiber in this scenario, but Womp with the beat, and 40% had for Devil Dukes. Looks like Apple's going to be kind of sneaking. Oh man, falling dangerously low is Silvertails and eats it up for a 4v5 scenario.
Yeah, this is not good as well because Toast is incredibly low and Obi's Chicken able to just axe them to death there. Here comes the blade from Ryan. It's a desperation blade, but they find one. Obi's Chicken, though, will say, hey, my knife is better than your blade. Kill them there, and this will probably be a point flip here for the Devil Dukes.
As you say, look at that, 40% and climbing. Poofa down, but so is Sunless Fiber. Oh my goodness gracious, 3 picks for Billings Boomers, and it looks like they're flipping this back around. No ultimates even used.
Yeah, but they still have to deal with the supports here for the Devil Dukes. They're going to try to just stagger or try to stay on this point as long as they can. Eventually, it will go over back to the Billings Boomers. 53% though is really good, but the Billings Boomers close to at least tying it up here. But like you said, coming back in with 2 ultimates, about to have 2 more ultimates as well for 4 ultimates in total. The Billings Boomers, though, about the same thing. They can get their ultimates up here pretty quickly.
Yeah, Devil Dukes has a lot of ultimates, so it looks like they are going to actually press this with the beat. Maybe a little bit risky, but hey, it does pay off, and it looks like a fantastic ultimate from Toast not going to be canceled out. Looks like they apprehended the aggression from that Junker Queen perfectly.
Yeah, and it really came down to the fact that the Devil Dukes were able to find 2 kills before Toast used that rampage there and allowed them to do so much more with it off of the fact that Toast only had 2 other members alive, and it was Poofa on the Lucio Dragon on the Tracer. Poofa did his best to beat in that last fight, and probably not the best thing there, but a lot of ultimates were used in the last fight. Obi's Chicken, though, still holding on to their rampage. It's a huge ultimate for them, but the Billings Boomers have some ultimates right now that could easily win them a team fight.
Oh, absolutely. Also, Sunless Fiber, 3k in that last fight. It looks like Dragon gonna be trying to find a nice little pulse bomb to start this off. Looks like both Tracers hunting down the enemy Moiras, it seems, but it looks like Sunless Fiber hunts down Dragon.
Rampage comes out, hits 3 members there. Sunless Fiber already finding 2, make it 3. This Genji is on one right now for the Devil Dukes. They're going in. Apple's trying to get rid of this Moira here. Silvertile's not going to be able to escape it. And will the Billings Boomers even be able to get back in time to touch point?
Oh goodness gracious, Toast is completely dipping point, you know, with 3% left. Oh my goodness gracious, a fantastic rebound ultimate. Now 3 players hit by that fantastic rebound. Looks like that last second touch is coming in handy.
Yeah, and the rampage from Toast was huge. It hit 3 members of the Devil Dukes, 2 immediately falling right after. But now the Billings Boomers down. Toast and Ryan, they have to try to keep themselves alive. Dragon finding a huge pick there onto Ducks. Now, it's essentially a Tracer and a Lucio versus a Lucio and a Genji, but the Genji will fall first. Now they're trying to get rid of this Lucio. The point's still not flipped just yet. Some members of the Devil Dukes actually going to be able to come back and touch it, but not for long enough. Billings Boomers take the point.
Yeah, Dragon just stood there looking at that choke point like, who dares challenge I? And now, speaking of, there's going to be quite a lot of challengers from the side of Devil Dukes. Coming up on about 5 ultimates. Billings Boomers, no support ultimates, most importantly. Ryan is coming up on a blade. Toast did switch to that Diva, so maybe a bit more sustainability, but we're going to put that to the test with the blade from Sunless Fiber.
Sunless Fiber, like you said, has this blade ready to go, but they don't find anything. Poofa shuts them down. That's a huge click coming out from them. Now the blade coming out from Ryan as the rampage comes out from the Obi's Chicken and the beat. Everything coming out from the Devil Dukes right now. Ducks able to find Poofa right there, and they find Ryan. 2 huge picks. Toast so close to a bomb that could be huge here if the rest of their team falls. It's just a remaking tool. Silvertile's did use the coalescence there, but Apple shuts them down. The bomb coming out from Toast won't find anyone. Toast already off this plane of existence. We do see Poofa come back, but it's only going to be just for a moment. Devil Dukes retake the point, and will take this first map off that incredible team fight.
You really do have to wait until the moment it ends, because both of these teams just are neck and neck. It's crazy, especially when they both run such a feral Junker Queen comp. Oh my god, I was not expecting the complete dive kind of mirror too. It was fantastic to see the kind of anti-synergy between the Genjis and the Tracers. It was especially like, I didn't expect so much dive to be put onto the Moira. I thought it would like go onto the Lucio a lot of times because like, oh, you not got that speed, you're not able to rotate as fast. But these teams really making use of that shout and the Junker Queen to its maximum potential. It looked like you really are seeing the buffs in action. But I feel like even if those buffs didn't come in and these players still magically somehow played the Junker Queen, just off of their ability usages alone, they would have had a lot of success on the front line and the off angles that both these teams are really good at doing.
Yeah, and even going into that first map, we kind of were very hesitant to say we were going to see Junker Queen be Junker Queen the entire time. However, that's basically what we saw. Toast did bring out a Diva at the very end to try to do something. Yeah, they built up a bomb in 1 life. However, the time it took that bomb to explode was just a little bit too long. Obi's Chicken was able to find them, and essentially that's what won Devil Dukes that first map there. But like you said, these two Junker Queens have been excellent at what they're doing. And each team has had different points where they looked like the more dominant team. Devil Dukes really looked really good on Lighthouse at points, almost essentially touching the Billings Boomers spawn. But then you go to Well, and it was a little bit back and forth, but when it seemed like the Devil Dukes were able to win team fights, they were able to do it very handily and very quickly.
Yeah, it was very great, especially too, like, I mean, even that Blade from Ryan, even though it looks like kind of just in the moment kind of decision, 2 picks off the bat, that is a ginormous kind of deficit. Both these fights, well, both these teams had fights that were really, like, neck and neck, and just trying to stress that on Well enough, especially, like, Ilios, yes, it did kind of go the way of Devil Dukes, but even then, they had to really put themselves to the limit. They had to press those choke points, otherwise, we would have had the same Ruins kind of thing happen, where Billings Boomers, even though they didn't necessarily press up too far, even the obstacles that they had, the geometry that they could play around, they made use of that to the fullest extent. So heading into Well, it was fantastic to see how Devil Dukes already improved so much. And it looks like, oh my goodness, it's Numbani. Forget everything you ever saw about Ilios, because this is a completely different. We're talking about high grounds. We're talking about maybe Winston's even. We had a lot of brawl in those kind of fights, and a lot of like, oh, press up as far as you can, really make use of off angles at the synchronicity of events happening. This is Numbani. This is the jungle of Overwatch.
Yeah, and this is Billings Boomers picking this map. Definitely want to kind of play into a certain play style here. We do have one sub. Apples is going out. Mikey is coming in. I believe that is for the Boomers. And for the Devil Dukes, it does look like Suga Move is coming in for Womp Domp.
That's gonna be interesting. I do believe Suga's Move at least is, well, I don't know the actual roles for their teams. I just saw it on the rosters. Maybe we'll see a support change up for both of these teams. Maybe we'll see a different kind of playstyle of like how they want to do economy rotations, because it's heading into dive rather than brawl. Maybe that's a big difference. Maybe it's a tank. Mostly just my kind of my kind of ill-informedness. But a sub for either side, you're already going to see a big kind of playstyle difference, I may dare say, for both of these teams.
Yeah, absolutely there. And Womp Domp was a support, so I imagine that Suga's Move is coming in as a support. So definitely it might be something where it's a situational support kind of play. They want to play a certain kind of comp here to either counter dive or to run their own dive. So bring in Suga's Move here. Apples, though, coming out, Mikey coming in. I believe Apples was a DPS. So again, probably just a situational kind of swap here for these teams. And, you know, having subs like that is very crucial for a lot of these teams now, especially in the final 8 here, just to have subs come in for certain comps that you want to play.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe Apples was the very proficient tracer player, so maybe we'll see a different kind of hero even played. But I mean, I think tracers are pretty good pick on Numbani too. If you want to like do really get there, if you want to set up for a dive, you got a tracer in the back to kind of set a sandwich on them. No tank swaps for either side, so it looks like maybe so. I don't think we'll see a Junker Queen again, but I think we'll get to see something a bit more. Maybe Brawley, I may dare say. I could go on and on about hypothesis and whatnot, but heading in just 2 seconds here, we'll see what the real deal really is. Looks like on the defense side is Devil Dukes, and it looks like they are going to be opting for that reverse kind of Winston here. And yeah, the Ana Kiriko as well. This is a fresh map with new ideals and aspirations for both of these teams. With Dragon on the Hanzo, Itositos is looking for the Diva, but it looks like both these teams opting for that Ana at the very least. That seems to be a very crucial factor here.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, Suga's Move coming in on the Ana. Like I said, probably a situational kind of pick here. Maybe Womp Dump not as confident as they are on the Lucio as they are with an Ana. So Suga's Move coming in here maybe is the right thing to do here. But, you know, like you said, and like we kind of expected to see dive comps come out here, and each team kind of running what I would expect to see them run.
Yeah, it looks like Dragon can be opting for something a bit more long range, but Sunless Fiber on this Echo with again no kind of mercy. I'm not gonna call it risky. I'm gonna call it frisky. Some fantastic stuff. Maybe Dragons are gonna be able to deal with it, but I think Itositos is gonna be the main kind of focal point, the kind of spotlight for how these kind of dives, how these kind of fights kind of go. Obese Chicken probably not gonna be opting to diving onto that Hanzo. They're gonna be playing a bit more passive because you've got Sunless Fiber on this Echo here.
Yeah, and each team is trying to poke each other out here, maybe find a lucky pick, but Dragon, there's no luck involved with that one. Sugas move maybe just a little bit too far out there. It gets punished for it. And the Billings Boomers looking to dive in on this. Toast finds Sunless Fiber as well. And look at what happened to the Devil Dukes there. Immediately just fell back.
That's so funny, dude. I was looking at some of the replay codes. Ryan on Genji, on one of these maps against Guangzhou Gangsters, was just shooting Shuriken after Shuriken in that same spot, but nobody was close to that side of the map. So Dragon making that first fight. And hey, starting off this fight again with a pick, this time onto the Winston. Yeah, Toasty is just going to hit the Jets and move forward.
Yeah, that's a really unfortunate pick there for the Devil Dukes. They probably want Obi Chicken try to stay alive a little bit longer, maybe hold the card up there for a little bit, but with them falling, this is basically just kind of free mileage right now for the Billings Boomers. I'm sorry I took that away from you, but this is just kind of free space. Like, you see the Devil Dukes finally getting back into it now as you see Obi Chicken just dive in there, but immediately they're getting taken out by Toasty Toast.
Oh, Obese Chicken again falling. Yeah, Toast again just gonna chuck in a bomb after that. Not even wasting any time. Just, oh, could pit around with the Diva Pistol. No time wasted. Poofa on the break, I think, is a really big factor. I think it's kind of scaring Obese Chicken and whatnot. And now the mileage is reaching about 80 meters. I think they actually are gonna secure this without a single ultimate really used to guarantee it.
I mean, Toast did have to use the bomb there, but that was more used just to make sure they got back in their mech. And, like, you know, there was really no contest that entire second point. Oh, the pulse bomb coming out onto Obi's Chicken, but Ducks using the Suzu perfectly to make sure no damage comes from it. And now, you know, a couple of those ultimates came out there for the Billings Boomers. Devil Dukes about to have a whole team's worth of ultimates, and we're starting off with, let's say, 2 at the moment, as Sunless Fiber found Silver Tiles there, Mikey finds Dragon, and already the Devil Dukes winning this team fight, maybe trying to pick up a couple extra kills here. Obi's Chicken diving into that background, able to find Poofa, and Toast able to escape with their lives there.
Yeah, a nice view spawn right there as Ryan ditches back right to it. Ducks finally getting the kind of Kiriko prowess here on Nubani specifically, especially with Ana and the kind of rest of the kind of flow these comps seem to be going. But it looks like Ryan gonna eat up some of the flow with a pick on the Mikey, and now the Dragon's gonna be coming in. Devil Dukes on the on the back foot here.
Yeah, but Devil Dukes immediately seeing Obi's Chicken pop their Prime Rage here. Ducks finding Poofa. Obi's Chicken throwing those hands, able to find Silver Tails there. They find Dragons as well. They're not going to find anyone else as they escape out with their life, but the damage already done there. And oh, Toast might have taken the wrong turn, and they have to invest Bomb to make sure they don't die.
Yeah, oh gosh, I kind of reset here. They do have both support ultimates for Billings Boomers, and they're coming up on something a bit more divey with this Dragon on the Sombra now. I think they're trying to really get rid of the kind of support line of Devil Dukes, especially with Sunless Fiber really just getting a lot of free value, as you can already see. Yeah, Dragon's setting up for a little bit of a dive, but it looks like the dive is going to be set up for Devil Dukes. The backline is out. Nano is out. It's a 4v4, but it looks like this is going to be kind of a finicky situation.
Nano out on the Toast there, who is simultaneously told to take a nap there. So really nothing comes from that Nano. However, we do see Devil Dukes here find a couple kills. Obi's Chicken again finding Ryan, and ever since the Billing Boomers got this second point, they've really struggled to get any sort of distance on this card.
Yeah, it's so hard. This is the Numbani spot. You know, a lot of maps have a spot on them. This is the Numbani spot. That kind of high ground control is, as you can see, very much claimed for Devil Dukes. Mikey kind of just tearing free. Could just drop down, pepper the supports whenever they really want to. Poofa does have the kind of rally, so maybe they're kind of waiting for that perfect opportunity. But it looks like Sunless Fiber and Mikey strike yet again.
And Poofa investing the rally there, immediately dies right after. However, Toastos and Ryan picking up some kills here, but Mikey can immediately deny that there as they find Toastos before they're able to get back in their mech there. Ryan trying to get out of this one. Actually, no, they find Mikey. Ryan actually continues to just go in and pick up kills. Actually, wait, the cart almost gets all the way there. Ryan picks up Suga's move. The Nano, or the duplicate there coming out from Sunless Fiber into a Tracer. There are 3 Tracers on the field right now. No pulse bombs, though, gonna come out from Sunless Fiber, I believe. But Silver Tails does find Ducks there. That's a huge pick. And now the Billings Boomers looking to end this map. And EMP comes out, hits 3. Obi's Chicken, though, is hungry for some pulse bombs. Able to eat Ryan's there. And now Dragon able to take care of Sunless Fiber. Trying to get the hack there onto, I believe that was Mikey. Not going to be able to, but Dragon picking up kill after kill. Make it 3, and Toast will finish it off.
The dragon roared and Ryan soared. That was some phenomenal individual plays coming up from the Billings Boomers. Oh my goodness gracious! They got out of the Numbani the second the DPS of Billings Boomers were able to press past that kind of choke point of that Numbani spot. They were able to finally eat at the backline of Devil Dukes. They were finally able to have some of that 3-course meal. Even though Devil Dukes, they looked to have the advantage. They had the front line. They had the tank presence on that kind of front kind of choke. But the second Billings Boomers were able to really get any damage kind of past that, then you could kind of see the kind of the rest of Billings Boomers really flying colors with that. Pupa even saving rally for those kind of the kind of last kind of seconds, really using the HP pools for Billings Boomers for the max. Toast on that Diva. It may have looked like kind of a struggle pick for a lot of those times, especially with Sunless Fiber getting so much of that value on the Echo. But you can kind of see in those last kind of seconds, Toast again. I kind of said they kind of be somewhat of a spotlight for a lot of the fights, but they were also kind of a damage eater upper, kind of a one of those plants from Plants vs Zombies, the potato. Yeah, just kind of making use of the Devil Dukes pouring resources into the kind of front line. So fantastic stuff coming out from Billings Boomers. 2:39 on that clock right there, and it looks like they are going to be sticking out with what they had. Devil Dukes also going to be doing the same thing, but with Obese Chicken on that Diva as well, saying "Allow me."
Now, one thing I kind of want to point out there is the Billings Boomers actually got. Actually, no, the Devil Dukes completely forgetting about the card. Dragon almost backcapped them. That's the only reason that, in my opinion, the Billings Boomers were able to get out of that initial choke that the Devil Dukes had them in for about 3 minutes there. Like, if they had completely won a team fight, Ryan was doing some damage, but Dragon was just sitting on the cart, pushing it almost to the end of the map, and they almost did it. But just because of all that confusion and the Devil Dukes having to come out of spawn and immediately fight on the cart, the Billings Boomers were able to come back in and just take control of the round again.
Yeah, some crazy stuff, and holy smokes, we're already about 30 seconds into this next round. Looks like the pressure is gonna be going for head for Beast Chicken. Yeah, Devil Dukes, as you can see, playing a lot more grouped up. They're not trying to let anyone behind them, even though they are on attack this time. Billings Boomers. Looks like they are going to be relapsing onto their own supports here. Not really too much aggression to be had. They're kind of playing pretty passive here, which you can do concerning his first point Nubani. Ducks on the Brig. It's going to be kind of harder to attack with this. Pufa made it kind of look made it easy, but as you can, oh well, goodness gracious, Pufa is down.
Someone are applying a lot of pressure to those supports on that high line. That's why Toast went up there, but Toast focused more on the point there a little bit as Sunless Fiber finds Dragon as well. But Ryan's Pulse Bomb does find Ducks, and Toast following it up onto a kill with Sunless Fiber here. And now that does force the Devil Dukes to fall back a little bit. But like I was saying, Sunless Fiber just putting a lot of pressure on those supports on that high round, forced Toast to go up there and try to make sure they didn't necessarily die. Pufa, though, a casualty of all that.
Rest in peace, Brigidas. You can already kind of see Toast. You know, I know it may seem like Toast like just sitting on the point kind of massively. No, they're waiting in order to peel for their supports or to put aggression onto that high ground. And you can see already kind of opting for that kind of peel maneuver. Yeah, a lot of the time it's more passive, which makes it really hard for Devil Dukes to get a clear kind of target of who to dive on. Well, as you can see, Mikey may be having some trouble, but it looks like not out of this just yet with some ultimates to play with for Devil Dukes.
We do see Sunless Fiber here too, because they're into Diva out of their mech, but they're still technically Diva. They're going to be able to remech here. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to find anyone with that remech. However, they are providing a lot of damage. Here comes a bomb, though, in a very dangerous spot. Full support there for the Billings Boomers will be able to stay alive. The power of friendship, essentially. They're doing a lot to make sure neither of them die. Mikey, though, getting a little bit of revenge there onto Ryan as the fight continues here on point. You do see Ducks here invest the rally into this one. Pupa has a rally of their own ready to go. They might be looking to use it now, especially with Silvertail's falling there, and they do use it. And look at that, the EMP coming out from Dragon hits 4. Mikey surviving with a sliver of health until I said their name. Sorry about that, but Obese Chicken will find Pupa. The pulse bomb coming out there from Ryan onto Obese Chicken will get them out of their mech, but they do have a bomb ready to make sure they're able to get back in it.
Devil Dukes, I'm sensing the salt from the screen right now at how gruely this fight is looking. This is a salt soup and a half. The amount of peel from Silvertails and Pufa, the teamwork, the power of friendship, as you said. But one of the friends are down. Sunless Fiber now kind of prevailing through this kind of mid fight. After that kind of hell of a fight, the supports for Billings Boomers had to play a lot more backup than they really would have wanted, and that allowed for Devil Dukes to kind of start reconglomerating onto this point. Answer those high grounds. Mikey, nice little dunk onto Pufa right there, and the rest of the cleanup is going to be had for the side of Devil Dukes after what seems like eons.
However, Billings Boomers still doing a good job here, just contesting the point. And honestly, at this point right now, you're just hoping to get Poopa back into this one, but Silvertail's falling is not what you want to see. Toastos doesn't have a bomb to get back in their mech. They'll be taken care of very quickly after they get D-mech there by Mikey. Point finally captured by the Devil Dukes. Not as much time as the Billings Boomers, and honestly, I don't know if they'll be able to match the Billings Boomers' pace on the second point.
No, I don't think it's statistically possible. Ryan checked into Pulse Bomb, though, which might give somewhat of a pace to this mileage that I love that word, that Devil Dukes are trying to throw down here. Both support ultimates are had for Devil Dukes, most importantly, the rally, as well as a duplicate. Dragon going to be in a little bit of a math pickle here for trying to sort out how these equations are going to work for this next kind of defense kind of hold. Silver Talus with the Nano, though, might be kind of an advantage, but we're going to have to see how that plays out.
EMP comes out here from Dragon, hits 3 members of the Devil Dukes. Doesn't look like there's going to be any follow-up, especially with Dragon falling there, but Sunless Fiber again duplicating into this Tracer right now, trying to find anyone they possibly can, building up that Pulse Bomb, potentially just trying to essentially get off Toastos. They're going to be able to, but will they be able to at least throw? They're going to be able to, but Toasty Toast eats that Pulse Bomb up, even if it was just a fake one. But it's such a huge play coming out from them, and they're getting the Nano for a thank you there from Silvertails. The bomb now coming out from Obi's Chicken, trying to get Billings Boomer or the Devil Dukes. This point now, the bomb coming out from Toastos. They won't be able to get back in their mech, but Ryan able to find Mikey there. And now again, it's just a scrappy team fight here for this second point. You see the Billings Boomers essentially just trying to kind of stagger this one out, stall it out as long as they can, but the Devil Dukes eventually able to cap it.
That's a classic Niner right there. You saw kind of Ryan trying to blink back in the last second. Throws in a Pulse Bomb to make up for it, though. Does knock out Ducks. It's gonna be a 5v4 scenario. Poofa with the rally again, maybe kind of a throw him up in the air for how that goes. But Devil Dukes, you know, you're not out of this, and you're definitely not upset. You've got 2 minutes 30. You are gonna opt for kind of reset here, but with Mikey having this Pulse Bomb, you are possibly able to make some trouble for the backline of Billings Boomers if you can find the kind of right way of going about this. This is the Numbani spot. It might be a little bit difficult to see how this kind of goes, but with Dragon on the Sombra, you don't necessarily have a lot of too much of a big kind of frontline presence to deal with if you are Devil Dukes. Looks like the only kind of frontline is going to be Toasty Toast there, but we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, and one thing I love that the Billings Boomers did there, Obi's Chicken, after they got D-Mac there, the Billings Boomers just let them live. Kept them essentially out of their mech for a long time, eventually killing them as they were able to get back into it. Silvertails eventually does find Mikey there, but that was just a good play, a good smart play there for the Boomers. And hey, heck, look at their team right now. About to have all 5 ultimates ready. The Devil Dukes really only coming up on 1.
Well, Toasty Toast. That was some form of div right there. That was some BM stuff right there. Ryan, oh my goodness gracious! Time and time again, Ryan has opened a lot of these fights with a fantastic pick, and it's onto Ducks as well. Ducks not having the best of times given the last map as well. Kind of getting caught out a lot of times, but. I mean, you know, Silvertails, look at where Silvertails is even positioned right now. It's just so hard to kind of just get a clear dive. I think Devil Dukes are going to have to opt to dive for a very frontline kind of fight, which is something you maybe don't want to go for a Diva comp on paper, but this is what you're going to have to go for against the Billings Boomers, who just got a nasty EMP.
Yeah, they're only able to find 1 off that right there. Obi's Chicken did get the Nano, though. However, they won't be able to really get anything off that, as the Billings Boomers already pretty much winning this team fight. The Devil Dukes, again, on the back foot here. Less than a minute to go now, and a huge ultimate coming out there from Suga's move. However, nothing coming off it, so it's just not a good look right now for the Devil Dukes.
Well, as you say, a pretty good look in the top right of the screen right there is Dragon down, but another maybe not good look is 4 ultimates to deal with. But hey, throwing a Diva Bomb, maybe it'll deal with one of them, and it does. Now Silvertails with that Nano, though, it's going to be kind of a 4v4 scenario with a lot of big kind of pressure in your backline in the name of a Diva Bomb.
Diva Bomb coming up from both sides there. Obi's Chicken at least able to find 1. Toast found nothing with it, but they are able to get back in their mech, which was probably their main goal with that one there. Over to less than 10 seconds left to go now. Billings Boomers 1 team but away here from pretty much winning it. Sunless Fiber, though, able to find Toast. Mikey's Pulse Bomb finds Silvertails. Look at the Devil Dukes coming alive when they desperately needed to here. They won't finish this map with time remaining, but they will force an overtime.
First try right there. Holy smokes. Devil Dukes eating it up with that Trace Duplicate. The second they had that lots of aggression, lots of speed. Even saw an Anane come out from Sugar's move just to dunk on the kind of front line aggression had for Devil Dukes. And I mean, with 2 Pulse Bomb kills from 2 Traces, I mean, it's just hard to really keep up with Billing Boomers. They finally broke through that front line kind of offsides, kind of scrimmage line. They finally, which is the same kind of win condition that Billings Boomers had to have for their attack, but Devil Dukes, it took a lot more time. Billings Boomers really made use of that Numbani fight. They had Subtitles play all the way in the back. I mean, holy smokes, playing in the trees of cover. I said this was a jungle and it absolutely was. Oh my god, remember that eat from Toasty Toast?
But, you know, the Billings Boomers did what they needed to do on the defensive side here. Even though they let the Devil Dukes fully complete the map, they at least made sure all the time was gone there from the Devil Dukes. So essentially, it's just one round here, right? They just need to get, they just need to get 1 tick?
It absolutely is. Oh man, look at if you were somehow blind to numbers or dyslexic, you don't even have to like know the numbers. Look at what Devil Dukes are coming out on. They've got the Baptiste, they've got Orisa. This is Overwatch 2's version of like the freshest bunker comp you could possibly have. And with Ducks on the Skirko as well, and Mikey on the Soul Turn, you're often to have some off-angle kind of suppression. They're really in it to win it here. This is not over by any means. We're gonna have to see how it goes out to the very end.
Yeah, Devil Duke's definitely going for essentially the bunker right now on point. The Torb gonna try to make sure the turret gets a lot of damage, keep it up as long as they can here. OP's Chicken coming out on the Orisa. First time we've seen any different tank than Junker Queen or a dive tank at the moment, so it's gonna be very interesting to see how this Orisa does here at the moment. But Billings Boomers currently just go straight to point. Or take care of Sugo's move there. Now they're trying to get rid of this Torb. Gonna be able to do that. It's not looking good here for the Devil's Deuce. OB's Chicken essentially against the entirety of the Billings Boomers here. Gonna be able to keep themselves up for a little bit here. Eventually they'll fall. Now it's up to Ducks.
How much mileage do you see the Devil Dukes getting right there?
About -2. But Billings Boomers able to take that map, tie this series up, which is really good for them. We have ourselves a series on our hands here now. Devil Dukes will be able to pick the next map. And so it all comes down, like, this is a really big map 3 we're going to be going into here before halftime.
Yeah, and holy smokes! The fun thing about this new recent Tranquility change, having halftime after 3 maps, which is fantastic in the sense it's like, okay, maybe it's 3-0, but then it's like the halftime, and it's like, oh no, we're getting 3-0'd. Now we can really think about a reverse sweep, you know. But in our fortunate scenario, it's a 1-1 right now, and a really even Steven one at that. I mean, holy smokes! Heading to the next map, whatever it is, it's going to be Escort. And given so far the kind of payload, kind of how both these teams have played on payload specifically, we saw Devil Dukes have a lot of good sustain when they were winning the fights, but the second they got stops, that seemed to be the kind of struggle. Maybe it's a map diff as well, but Billings Boomers looked very proficient overall. You saw them switch to that Sombra. They were very adept at going to the backline to make sure everything could keep sandwiching, keep moving. They're really good at making picnics, you know. But so it's going to be maybe a good half and half, but it's really going to depend on the kind of map, the kind of composition, which does look to be Shambali.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting map to see the Devil Dukes come out with here, because I normally equate that map with poke comps, especially on the first one, but maybe they feel like that's their map they can win there. However, you know, I kind of want to focus on Dragon, especially playing that Sombra there for the last part of their attacking one, and then the final 2 rounds on Numbani there. It really seemed like Dragon was able to cause a lot of problems on that Sombra and also find a lot of kills, which is essentially what you want to see your Sombra player doing.
Yeah, absolutely. It was so, like, even if you knock out Sombra in that scenario, you still got to deal with everyone else because Sombra's not really a frontline character, and so you can see already they can already kind of do this kind of 4v5 scenario in technical terms, of course. Not trying to diss Dragons whatsoever, but yeah, heading to like Shambali. Oh my god, like you said, poke maps, poke comp. Sorry, like maybe we'll see Sigma, but I think we're gonna see Ramacha Sigma, maybe mainly. I don't think we'll necessarily see a lot of Diva, but you know, it is an option. But this is going to be something a lot more kind of in your face. We saw a lot of those fights where it's like, okay, someone's out in the first fight for Numbani, then it looked like kind of the rest of the team followed suit. It was not the case for Ilios. It was very half and half, very even. I think we're going to see a lot more reminiscences of that on Shambali, where it's a lot more like, all right, we got the first pick, but we really got to make sure we keep it going. We got to keep it grooving. Especially maybe we'll even dare I say a mirror.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a mirror. Actually, no, I don't think we'll see a mirror here. I feel like this is a map where you don't necessarily see mirrors that often. I feel like if you're playing defense, you're playing definitely a different kind of comp on defense than you are on offense here. But like I said, this is a pretty big map here heading, because after we head into halftime, you want to have that advantage going into halftime. And the Billings Boomers able to pick up that second map there might have a little bit of momentum here. And like I said, not a map that I would normally expect to see a mirror match on, and at the moment, the only shared hero between both teams is a Lucio.
Yeah, holy smokes, that's that blew my mind out the gutter right there. Both teams having a Lucio is pretty good for Shambali. It is a big map, as you said. You want to really cover a lot of terrain very quickly, or at least cover off angles very quickly. You know, faster than your opponent at the least, but. Heading into this is going to be pretty dandy from Devil Dukes and pretty brawly from Billings Boomers. Ducks. I was gonna say do it to him. Ducks did it to me, but you know we're gonna have to see how Devil Dukes opt for a more kind of structured kind of defense with something a bit more melodic on that front line. Billings Boomers running out with the classic kind of rush comp from Ilios, if you can remember.
I'm actually kind of surprised to see the Billings Boomers come out here on with this Junker Queen. I really am. I felt like they would play a little bit more of a defensive tank here, but Ryan able to find Sunless Fiber out early is a nice pick over. Ryan immediately falls right after that 2 apples. Each team now just kind of vying for picks here, trying to find the next one. Devil Dukes definitely trying to get something going here, though.
Yeah, it's a bit of an even-Steven kind of trade. Apples was a prominent kind of player in Ilios. Able to secure those offsides. Sunless Fiber, a lot of anti-synergy, you know, with that. Looks like you can already kind of see that kind of frontline pressure being made. On Shambali, it's a very different look. A lot more scissory, a lot more protractory, a lot more graft from Billings Boomers, it seems. As you can see, the fight heading their way in a very decisive manner.
Yeah, I believe the Devil Duke's actually pushing right now, but the Devil Duke's doing a good job here, just finding some kills. Yeah, I know the scoreboard's backwards, but they did a good job there, just kind of patiently waiting out the team fight. They were firing the picks they needed to find, then collapsing in onto the remaining members of the Billings Boomers there.
Yeah, Billings Boomers opening up with a pick on the Womp. The Lucio is out again, but it looks like actually Devil Dukes opting for that mirror. Billings Boomers opting for that mirror, and now holy smokes, it's basically Ilios all over again, but with a new map to really feast your eyes on. You can see it's already playing out very differently. 2 minutes gone, and now it's going to be a nice little Junker Queen diff, and now, I mean, Toast, again, the last one alive. Looks like, yeah, the same kind of strats as well, kind of killing everyone else other than Toast seem to be arising, and if that's the case, I think Billings Boomers are in a little bit of trouble.
Pulse bomb coming out there from Apples could have been huge, but doesn't find anyone. Instead, now we could see the Billings Boomers actually come back out here and kind of contest on this point. Poopa finding Sunless Fiber, and now this is a very long walk back to this cart here for the Devil Dukes.
Oh yeah, some salt to pick up on the way in this copium mining facility. You were so close, like 4 meters off. Now you're about 2 minutes down. You're looking very good if you're Billings. I got the teams mixed up again. I'm so sorry. The red team, or Sunless Fiber with that blade. It's going to be met with Poofa's beat, both Lucios having a beat, both teams having a blade. But it's going to be Doug. So, you know, they've been a very aggressive Kiriko a lot of the time with their Kitsune. I think they're going to be trying, they're going to be trying to open this fight with it. And look at that, a Genshi diff to start it off with.
And here comes the blade from Sunless Fiber trying to find anyone. The beat will immediately be out there to counter it from Poofa. Gonna be able to keep him alive. Silvertail's using their own Kitsune Rush here, but they will eventually fall right after. However, the Billings Boomers gonna be able to stay alive on this card. Sunless Fiber will find the kills they need. Actually, the whole DPS line here for the Devil Dukes just cleaning up.
Oh god, the amount of 3Ks that the Devil Dukes DPS have gotten throughout this entire series is insane. So sorry that like these two teams are going so at it that normally I would remember at least what teams they're playing for at the very least, but holy smokes. I'm trying to look at everything on the screen right now, and what I can see most clearly is that last fight, Sunless Fiber with the blade, even though they were already kind of winning that fight, Poofa's beat came up to basically air. Doug's on this Kiriko has been very proficient ever since Ilios. and now Billings Boomer's gonna be trying to set up for a bit more of an aggressive defense here, as this is the Shambali spot. You're gonna see Obese Chicken trying to make this kind of frontline had for Devil Dukes, but we're gonna have to see how that kind of plays out, considering, oh goodness.
Dragon Blade coming out from Ryan. Sunless Fiber just told him to sit down right there. And look at what this does here to the Boomers. The Rampage, though, coming out from Toast Toast will hit 4 of the 5 members of the Devil Dukes. Obese Chicken able to find, or falls there to Toast Toast. Dragon finds Womp Top. And now the Billings Boomers here just cleaning up this team fight.
Goodness gracious, visual creatures all around, Silver Tells with 2 gnarly headshots right there, and I believe one of them was a diff at that. Again, another kind of long walk to spawn right there for the side of Devil Dukes. But what they do have is quite some mean ultimates to start this fight with. Billings Boomers using a lot of their ultimates in a lot of these fights, and that leaves them kind of dry. Billings Boomers maybe going to be, holding this kind of sturdy kind of defense setup, which they can do. It is that kind of spot to do. So Dragons is coming up on a Pulse Bomb, which Apples does not have one. And now it's going to be kind of, Dragon in that kind of backline. The sandwich is going to be trying to be had for the side of Billings Boomers.
Yeah, but Devil Duke does have this Rampage ready for Obese Chicken. I would imagine we're going to see it early, especially with Ryan just getting dipped here at the moment by Sunless Fiber here. But here comes the Casino Rush from Silver Towels. But now the Rampage comes out from Obese Chicken. Does hit 2 members, however, they're being well supported to make sure no one falls through. Poofa, though, eventually going to fall due to all that damage from that Rampage. Oh, and Silver Towels able to teleport themselves away from the danger there. Devil Dukes, though, still going in as Ryan finally getting a little bit of revenge as Obese Chicken and Apples doing a lot of the dirty work.
Yeah, that yank into that diff onto Junker Queen. The amount of diffs that have happened this entire game, by the way, also just downright phenomenal. Now it's going to be, oh my goodness gracious, this is going to be an ultimate diff coming in here. Devil Dukes on top of the ultimate economy so far, and oh my god, they got to pick on Poofa right there, who is going to come up on a beat faster than Womped Up, but again, with Ducks on this Kiriko Kitsune, and both DPS ults had for Devil Dukes, Poofa is going to be sweating right now. Poofa is going to be under a lot of stress. Toasty Toast might be trying to look to alleviate it, considering this is that kind of hallway kind of payload kind of point. But we're going to have to see how that kind of plays out, considering, the Kitsune is now out for Ducks, and the Blade is going to meet it.
Yeah, the Blade coming out, finds 1, finds 2. The beat coming out a little bit too late there from Poofa. Apple gets the dip there on the Dragon, and the Devil Dukes just cruising at the moment.
Cruising, schmoovin', and Billings Boomers are losing. Poofa all going all the way back to spawn right there. Ryan coming up, Billings Boomers are coming up on both their DPS ults. I think they are going to have it this fight. Womp Dump is going to have their beat though, and Obese Chicken with this gnarly kind of Junker Queen ult. Apples is already kind of looking for this kind of off-angle kind of pulse bomb target, but a big, oh my goodness.
Rampage hits 4 there, immediately countered by the beat to keep themselves alive. Apples will find Silvertail here. The Devil Dukes finding the kills they need. The Rampage from Obese Chicken hits 2, and those 2 eventually are gonna fall. Toast Tail's last member alive. Dragon finds a kill, but it won't matter in the end as the Devil Dukes complete Shambali Monastery with 1:24 in their time bank.
With a mirror on, I was trying to point out earlier, like, oh, they're both mirroring like Ilios. This is, again, nothing like Ilios. This time they both have the Kirikos, which I totally passed my mind. They both have the Kirikos this time, and especially on Shambali, you're able to use to a lot more proficiency. As you can see a lot of the time, Sunless Fiber just dashing ahead immediately after the Dux Kitsune. And even at that, you still have this Lucio player that you're still playing fantastically with. You're pressing the, so basically, it's basically like a speed amp. And so I think basically a lot of the time, Wompdop isn't even using that speed amp with that Kitsune. I think they're literally saying it until after it. Really trying to, again, they're really narrowing down and funneling all of the Billings Boomers into exactly kind of how Obese Chicken is really able to really eat it up. They're just blendering it. Even when you don't necessarily have the Blade or the Rampage. As you can see, like, Toasty Toast tried to go for a count 1 right there, but as you can see, like, the rest of the team cohesion was just not there. They're all getting eaten up by the Devil Dukes, and holy smokes, we might see Zarya come out again, but last time they did that, they ended up swooping off to that kind of mirror. Devil Dukes, though, going to be sticking with what they know and love, and worked.
Yeah, and honestly, Toast has pretty much teased us with the Zarya pick every map so far, so I'm not putting a lot of weight into that one here. But Ryan coming back on the Hanzo is not necessarily a pick that I'm mad with, but as I say that, they swap off to Tracer. But this is kind of what I expected to see from the Billings Boomers. Toast is actually sticking with the Zarya, and I really do like that pick from them.
Yeah, this actually is with the Dragon on the Sombra too. You're looking to really. I was talking about sandwiches earlier. Now you're just straight up making Lunchables, especially with these bubbles. The amount of charge you can get too. Devil Dukes, they're gonna have to move as a team. They're gonna have to move with a lot of like basically a dive on wheels, so to say. Looks like one of the wheels for Billings Boomers is gonna be lost in the name of Silver Tiles right there. But you're right next to Spawn. You're basically just kind of feeling him out, how you really want to go about this next kind of fight. We're gonna see how this kind of plays out. Ryan looks like is gonna be the key kind of player here for these these fight starts. Considering Dragon's gonna be having a little bit of a tougher time dealing with the kind of Devil Dukes damage here. The peel from their team is just insane.
Yeah, but, even with, Ryan picking up that one kill, look at what it does to the Devil Dukes here. Kind of has them to fall back a little bit. They don't want to necessarily commit into a team fight with only 4 members, especially as everyone for the Billings Boomers comes back out. But now you should see Devil Dukes come back into this next engagement with all 5 members ready to go. They're about to have a Kasuni Rush, a Pulse Bomb, and probably a Rampage built up.
Yeah, holy smokes. And Dragon went over to the Reaper, which is actually even further. They're going to try and like cancel this out fully head. Even knocks out the Genji right there. Ryan, I said on Ilios, like the Tracer, it's really good to have that kind of mid-fight presence, but for this map now, you're going to be opting for those kind of Genji, that kind of Reaper, the kind of those kind of different characters. Now it looks like Ryan with a nice little another diff, but this is mayhem.
The Rampage comes out there from Obi's Chicken, but Silver Tiles immediately just suited everyone that was affected by it, so really nothing comes from it. However, the follow-up from Obi's Chicken is what we need to be talking about there. 2 kills, trying to make it 3 right now. Dragon running for their lives. Same thing for Toasty Toast here. And they're getting some support here, but Obi's Chicken now gonna have to fall back as they already done the damage they needed to do.
I'm sensing a pattern, and that pattern goes by the duck of Devil Dukes right there. Nice little Kasuna, really give them the upper edge in that fight. You saw with your own eyes. It looks like Billings Boomers really taking that lead, but the second that Kasuna came in, really able to make use of it, but you don't have it this time, and now it looks like Devil Dukes on the on the back foot here.
Kasuni coming out, the B coming out here from Womptop, hits all 4 members of the Devil Dukes left alive. Tostios now basically almost has what could be a grab here for free if they want to invest in this one, but they feel like they really don't need to. They're trying to get rid of Sunless Fiber. They're going to be able to do that. They're now going to just get as many members on this card as they can. The Devil Dukes, however, still should be able to come back in this next engagement and before the Billings Boomers cap this first point.
Yeah, and Billings Boomers, oh goodness gracious, they're coming up on Grav, Blossom, Poofa has the beat, Womptomp does not. Devil Dukes, really the only ultimate they have is Blade, and even that can get countered. It looks like the counters are going to be made even before it even starts.
Blade coming out here from Sunless Fiber, not going to be able to find anyone with it yet. That grab, though, does lead to 2 kills. Tostitos follows up with a 3rd one. They're on to Sunless Fiber. Now they have their eyes set on Apples. Gonna have to get rid of Ducks. Ryan gonna do that. That'll be the first point going over to the Billings Boomers. A nice team fight there for them, one they desperately needed.
Yeah, Devil Dukes, I wasn't actually expecting a last second kind of recontest, considering the ultimates and the kind of momentum Billings Boomers clearly had, so to say. But Devil Dukes coming in for that. They did actually force out Beat and Blossom and Grav. Ryan really the only one with an ultimate now, heading into the Shambali spot, who just Devil Dukes now on the May. Oh goodness gracious, the rest of the fight is going to be heading their way here, it seems.
Yeah, the Kasuna Rush and the Rampage coming out there from the Devil Dukes. And one thing I want to kind of mention here, Ducks, their Kasuna rushes have been a lot better on this map than they were on the first map of Ilios. Almost every time on Ilios they use them, and it almost resulted with team kills going for the Billings Boomers. But on this map, it seems like they've been working perfectly, almost leading to a team fight win every time.
Yeah, the rest of the team is just fantastic. You don't even necessarily combo an ultimate just with it. Just the raw kind of prowess, the raw kind of skill. It looks like it's just all there for Devil Dukes, but we're going to see how that kind of stacks up. Billings Boomers, it's going to be looking to be a dry fight. They're not really trying to press this too hard, but it looks like Ryan already in that backline trying to opt for a sandwich, but OB's Chicken with a nice yank and dank right there is going to be leading Dragons out of the fight. Now Devil Dukes pressing it head on.
Yeah, and Obi's Chicken being able to do so much damage early has really helped their team out so far. Tosto's able to find Sunless Fiber there, and now Tosto's highly charged here. This beam is scary to be in front of. They're trying to find any little squishy character they can right now that's usually having to be invested there by Ducks to make sure no one falls there from that beam from Tostitos. But look at Tostitos right now, almost to that grab. Ryan close to a pulse bomb here. We could see a couple combo ultimates coming out here from the Billings Boomers here, especially as the Devil Dukes will really only have a beat that will be ready, and probably the Kasuni Rush.
Yeah, and you'll know that Dragon actually is the slowest one coming up on a Blossom, which I'm not trying to diss or anything. I'm saying that Tostitos got a lot of value from every single time Devil Dukes pressed forward. Every time they won a fight, they pressed a little bit more forward, and now there's a grab to really complement that.
The grab comes out, the pulse bomb comes out, it finds two more members of the Devil Dukes fall, and that's what I was saying there. They had everything lined up to use a couple ultimates to make sure everything worked out, and once Toast saw that Suzu come out there from Dux. That was their sign to say, okay, I can grab for free here. And hey, Womp using the beat there could have kept the Devil Dukes alive, but that pulse bomb and the damage that Toast was able to do was just too much.
Yeah, it was just phenomenal follow-up from the Billings Boomers right there. Even using a Kitsune early on. Still has that beat, still has that Blossom. Blossom, never mind, gets shut down with another Duck special right there. But it's a 4v4, now it's a 4v3. Billings Boomers making this a rebound.
Yeah, Toast starting to come alive on the Zarya, which is what you want to see your Zarya do, because once they get that beam charged up high, they are very scary. Look, Toast, no fear, just holding that W key into anyone they possibly can here. Obi's chicken will fall, and we're eventually going to see Ducks fall as well. Toast absolutely playing the Zarya to perfection at the moment.
God, what
almost
a menace.
A grab, too.
Yeah, already like 80 to that. And to top it off, Ryan could throw in a pulse bomb to really nail that. No support ults, basically no ults for Devil Dukes. They do have that Dragons. Billings Boomers have quite a lot to play with here. Toast again leading this kind of lead on this front line. Kind of a bit more solo motion right now, trying to really just find out anyone who they can narrow down into a kind of a funnel kind of scenario. We're trying to make it easier for Ryan. Dragon actually on this Hanzo as well. Speaking of Dragon, Sinless Fight ever used it, didn't really get much, but now it's a 4v4. Both Hanzos out.
Both Hanzos out, but Toast using the grab. I don't think it finds anyone in it, and if it does, no one dies from it. Toast now getting incredibly low. Ryan continued to put in the damage here, punching Womp to death there. Toast going aggressive, able to find Ducks. The Kasuni Rush now coming out here from Silvertails. And we see Sunless Fiber coming out on the Bastion to try to do whatever they can, but the beat from Poofa is huge, providing a lot of shields, making sure no one on the Billings Boomers falls there. Womp comes in with a hope and a prayer, but that's all you're going to get out of them there. And we will see another overtime here on Shambali.
Where Sunless Fiber, I hardly know her. There ain't no way in a million years that Bastion would have worked right there. The momentum for Billings Boomers, but also one person. Momentum. Oh my, Toasty Toast. All right, the Toasty Toast. Holy smokes. We saw a lot of Junker Queen v Junker Queen. Obviously, both these Junker Queen players are very proficient on their characters, and with the rest of the teams, phenomenal stuff overall. I know a lot of people were complaining about, oh, Junker Queen buff, too broken. Nah, these people get it. These people, holy smokes, fair and square every single time. It was fantastic stuff. And the second they swapped out to that Zarya, finally, after all these years of being, teased for it and whatnot, finally, we got to see some fantastic. I mean, right there, holy smokes! Obese Chicken was just completely denied. The thing about swapping to the Zarya this late in the so to say in this kind of in these two teams, holy smokes! I mean, like you're really able to nail down exactly how the enemy tank plays and really how to counter it to the best kind of ways, and that's exactly what Toast did with the rest of their team.
Yeah, no, and Toast it seems like they've been wanting to play Zarya almost every map. They've been teasing it for a while there, but you got to give the Billings Boomers the Billings Boomers a lot of credit there. Like they had a very slow first point. It almost took them the entire time there. That's what my biggest concern is for them as we head into overtime here. We do have I believe a technical pause coming out here from one of the teams. But this first point is so key for them as we go into overtime because of how slow or how poorly they performed on it in their first initial attack. Devil Dukes, on the other hand, had a very strong first point, almost basically capping it or finishing it in one or two team fights. So it really all comes down to if we can see some sort of improvement out of the Billings Boomers here.
Yeah, and holy smokes, we're probably gonna have to see a lot of. If we're not going to see gameplay changes or any ways to like kind of try and counter the Zarya, try and counter, I'm probably going to be looking at more players other than the tanks. I think now we're going to see some diversity in how even the mirrors of any players play. We saw the Hanzos come out, we saw Reaper come out. We saw May come out as well. So it's leaning into less and less of a mirror, which, I mean, at the start, we saw immediately not a mirror at all. Then they kind of mirrored, but now we're seeing, again, that kind of not mirror. And I think this is the one we're going to be sticking with towards the end of the game and whatnot. And I think the Hanzo kind of pick, it seemed like both teams mirrored that. It seemed like Dragon was just kind of the only one doing that. But now, like, heading into this, I mean, in 5 seconds, I'm probably going to get proven wrong. But choosing that kind of Hanzo in those kind of scenarios, you were opting for a long-range person to knock out somebody before the fight kind of started. Yeah, Dragon gonna be sticking with that as well. It's on the attack, so maybe we'll see it switch him up as well. But you're trying to knock out somebody on an off angle. You're trying to knock out somebody that the tank essentially wasn't dealing with. Devil Dukes, I think they're now they're recognizing that, and they're going with the Reaper. And oh yeah, oh goodness gracious, Devil Dukes on the defense, they're opting for something to really play at the Billings Boomers at their roots, at their fundamentals. Ducks on the Baptiste, they're really trying to bunker this down on this first point. As you said, it's a bit slower, so with this Baptiste Reaper, you really are trying to play that to the max. With, I mean, Silver Tiles on the Hana, oh man, strap in.
I'm actually like I'm surprised the Double Dukes are coming out on this comp here. They did really good in my opinion with their comp initially on their defensive thing, and I said the Billings Boomers really struggled on this first point. You know, I feel like this might not be the best situation here, especially as Dragon able to pop the head off of Apples right there will immediately force Devil Dukes here to fall back. Dragon on a tear right now. Finds Swamp Dog Duck though, able to find Ryan here, but they're not going to be able to keep themselves alive right now. Sunless Fiber trying to do what they can, but they'll eventually fall as well. And the Billings Boomers, like I said, they needed to improve their first point here because they only have a minute. This is a much better start for them.
If we had a bingo card for every single player in this lobby, and every single player in this lobby was on that bingo card, and everyone's like thing was just get a 3K and you cross them off, we would have that by now. Toast with a nice one. Dragon shooting a John Adams right into the apple on the top of the head of Apples right there. Dragon starting off the fight yet again. I didn't expect the Hansos to necessarily get out these key players. I thought they were just going to get somebody like Sunless Fibers, like on the Reaper. Not trying to say they're bad or anything, just like a Reaper, you wouldn't. A tank can deal with that, but holy smokes, Dragon playing this to a fantastic extent, and they're going to come up on several ultimates. Grab Dragons at that, and Dex, look at the ultimates for Devil Dukes.
Yeah, I know some swaps coming out from them, not necessarily anything going to be ready in this next engagement. And if Toasty Coast can land a couple shots with their particle cannon, I believe it's called, they can have a grab ready to go. They can have essentially a team fight winner before a team fight really even gets going here. This is very scary now for the Devil Dukes in a situation where I thought they looked pretty handily ready to win this map, going into overtime. Dragon, though, continues to find heads.
No, it's on Apples yet again. That's just dastardly right there. Now the rest of the kind of follow-up is going to be had. You're talking about, I thought this was I thought this was a Shambali spot. I thought Devil Dukes, they were going to come in this with a lot more confidence. I thought they were going to hold that down because it's a Shambali spot. I know how first point goes, you know, it's whatever, but I thought Shambali spot for sure. I had my doubloons on that. It's gone now. They're on what, the fifth checkpoint? Yeah. I mean, look at the mileage.
Yeah, just look at this mileage right now. This is something I did not expect to see from the Billings Boomers here, but even more from the Devil Dukes. The Devil Dukes just not looking like they did their first time around here. And now, yeah, they're starting to go on some ultimates. Billings Boomers still holding on to essentially all of theirs here. But at this point, the ultimates are really going to be used in a final fight situation.
Yeah, this is going to be scary. It's going to be grab v grab. It's not going to be a beat though. That's going to be kind of scary. Apples does have the pulse if they don't get picked off, really, you know. Womped Up is going to be coming up on a beat sometime this last fight if they don't get picked off at an unfortunate time. But it looks like the Grab Dragons is there. 2 picks down. Obese Chicken and Apples, key players who had key ultimates. This is going to be a stall for a lifetime.
It's going to have to be a stall for a lifetime here. Sunless Fiber does not have a Death Blossom ready to go here. So Casino Rush comes out here from Silvertail's Coalesce being invested early by Duck here. But Tostitos now on point, still very highly charged. Dragon will take care of Duck. Sunless Fiber falls. Apples is back here, but here comes a grab from Obese Chicken. Tostitos, though, just powering right through. Finds 2, looking for a third here. Pooba gonna be able to diff the other Lucio right there. Apples falls as well to none other than Dragon. And the Billings Boomers, a minute on the clock, fully complete Shambali Monastery for the second time.
Duck. Moira, oh my goodness gracious. The Duck's Moira is not on the same level as the Duck's Kiriko. I'm gonna say it, but I'm not bad or anything like that. Just holy smokes, it's crazy. It's crazy how down to the wire every single like moment mattered for both these teams. You saw the Baptiste kind of come out with the Reaper. Eventually they built up ultimates, but that was at that last fight, which as you can see did not go very well. But. But I think playing to everyone's strengths right there, that's what makes these Billings Boomers work best. Everyone playing to their strengths. Devil Dukes, they did play for the kind of blueprint. Okay, we play this composition, and that should match their composition. And In paper, it does, but as you can see, Devil Duke's already opting to play for that kind of Kiriko, which they didn't have last time. I think the kind of mirror, the kind of mirror that Devil Duke is going for, I don't think that's bad at all. Even though they came up with ultimates, you know, in that last fight, and it is a kind of a 6-3 right now with a minute 31. But Devil Dukes, they're not like out of this just yet. If you've been paying attention from Ilios, both these teams have a lot of dog in them. I know it's Devil Dukes, but I mean, we'll just have to see how it plays out, you know, again. Well, so it looks like Billings Movers opting to go with what they have been going for so far, but they're on defense this time. Maybe they're a bit more susceptible to a dive. Maybe they're a bit more susceptible to a sandwich. And with Obese Chicken coming out on the Ram and Doug's coming out on the Baptiste, maybe that's what you're going for if you're Devil Dukes.
Yeah, but right now, the Devil Dukes have to get something going here fast. Yeah, they have a couple more seconds in their time bank. I believe it was 31. However, they can really not get stopped here for any significant amount of time. But Obi's Chicken able to find Dragon there is a huge play. Apple's find Ryan even better. Now you see the Billings Boomers trying to fall back here, but the Devil Dukes just going full aggro right now. Going to be able to get a team kill here. And this is a great start for them, but the Billings Boomers should be able to get back out to this cart to contest this first point if they so choose.
Yeah, they're going to have a lot of time, but Apple's on this May, and with Obese Chicken on this Ram, Ducks on the BAP, they're looking to play for all the time in the world. That overtime lasts as long as you're there, and that's exactly what they're playing for. Ryan maybe trying to knock out one of the players is going to be a Dragon who's been, Sun's Fiber who's been, you know, oh goodness gracious, Dragon's out.
Yeah, that's a huge pick there from Sunless Fiber. They find Ryan as well. The first point here capped for the Devil Dukes. Obi Chicken finding Poofa. Toast not going to be able to escape as well. Same thing for Silver Towels here. It's another 3K added to the bingo card here. But at the moment, I mean, the Devil Dukes doing exactly what they need to do. They needed to keep this momentum up. Yeah, it's about to go into overtime right about now. But they have to finish the map. That's the biggest thing. Without them, because they weren't able to stop the Billings Boomers, all they can really do here is just tie it and force another overtime.
Hey, if we gotta go all the way, we gotta go all the way, says Devil Dukes with 4 ultimates to the name, but not Sunless Fiber, as Dragon again starts off another fight with a nice little headshot. A dip at that. Totally tilts with the grab, but it looks like, yeah, the ultimate's going to be had for Devil Dukes, and a lot more the merrier. You're going to be pressing them as fast as you can. It is overtime, as you said. It's a 4v3 now, though. You know, you gotta keep your toes peeled. Ryan knocks out Ducks right there, but Devil Dukes, they only used 1 ultimate, well, 2 ultimates right there. They're looking again pretty advantageous in the ultimate economy. I think, yeah, Billings Boomers looking to give this up unless they're gonna recontest with Grav, but Womped Up coming up on a beat.
They might recontest with Grav. Here it comes. The Blizzard also coming out here from Apples. Sunless Fiber, though, Dragon does find Dragon, and again, Devil Dukes doing what they need to do here, only using the Blizzard and the Dragon in that one to get this team fight win and this second point. The Devil Dukes can feel it at this moment. They can tie this series or tie this map up yet again and force another overtime. And you know, Toast Tails using that grab there. Like I've said, that's a team fight winning ultimate, but they use it. They don't find anything off it, and now they're going over to a mantra of their own here. The Billings Boomers just need to have something go their way here.
Yeah, Toasty Souls tried to grab that. They tried Dragons with it as well, but Sunless Fiber's Dragons came out way more, more proficient. Now it's going to be, yeah, mirroring that kind of Ramacha. The Kitsune is out, but Poofa's out. Oh, goodness gracious. Obese Chicken has been on a rampage so far.
Yeah, that's not what you wanted to see early there for the Boomers, especially Dragonfall in there as well. Obese Chicken has done a good job. Hell, everyone on the Devil Dukes has done a good job of shutting down Dragon this round. And now the Billings Boomers falling back, going to come back out for one last rush contest here. But you see Obese Chicken there with that Annihilation almost ready. Ryan falling here early. The beat coming out from Poofa to try to keep everyone alive here. Toastos will be able to get this Annihilation, and they're going to pretty much have to pop it right away to keep themselves alive here. But Annihilation is coming out from both sides at the moment. Poofa, Dragon, Silver Towel's already out here. It's up to Toastos, but they won't be able to live long enough. Now it's just up to Ryan. Womped Up shuts them down. The Blizzard coming out. It's a celebratory one. Guess what? We're going to a round 5 on Shambali Monastery.
Dragon, ain't no way that Bastion's gonna work on last point. I saw deja vu, my dude. If it didn't work for Devil Dukes, ain't no way it's gonna work for you. And holy smokes, because this is beyond momentum at this point. If Einstein created momentum or whatever the crap, If you took one look at this game, dude, it would throw those equations out the window. It's 6-6. I'm sweating a little bit. Holy smokes. And I'm sure these players are sweating a lot more. Obese Chicken was on a rampage. That Ramacha comp was absolute wonders. That was exactly what the Baptiste of Ducks needed, and that's exactly what Sunless Fiber needed to really set the sights on who exactly to, or really even what determined what an off angle was or what an on angle was, or where the line of scrimmage was. And with Apples on that May, I think that was really the kind of key kind of factor in a lot of those kind of subtle ways. It was really hard for Billings Boomers to kind of deal with it. And holy smokes, in the end, you did see them swap to that Ramacha, and maybe it could have worked in another universe, but it seemed like kind of another deja vu scenario where the momentum was already kind of had, and then that last kind of fight, last kind of point of Shambali, if you don't really assert yourself in that Shambali spot, the rest of the momentum can very much be had for whichever team's kind of winning. But to hell with it, what I've all got to say, because it's yet again, it's holy smokes. It looks like they're going to be going out with what they both came out with. Apple's still in that kind of May, but it's on defense this time. It's going to be interesting to see how Ryan kind of opts up to this, especially with Ana, the Ana of Silver Tiles.
2 CP in Overwatch, just called Shambali Monastery right now. Obese Chicken almost falling there. The Immortality Field going to be able to keep them alive right now. Each team looking for this first pick, and Sunless Fiber finds a huge pick there onto Ryan. Billings Boomers going to have to try to play this safe, but there's really no fallback for them here. They really can't fall back. However, looks like they're going to try to fall back here a little bit, wait for Ryan to come back out, who immediately goes over to this May now off that Tracer.
Yeah, they're going for kind of a big kind of mirror. Oh, well, speaking of mirrors, one of them just got diffed. That's Dragon out right there with a nice little Sunner headshot. But it's going to be Ducks who's going to be opting the kind of question in the air here. A 4v4 scenario. Silvertile is going to be trying to make a kind of difference maker here, but it looks like the difference maker is going to be Toasty Toast, who got their Annihilation basically 40% faster, and with a, oh well, I was going to say 3K, but I guess it's going to be a 4K for the side of Toasty Toast.
And that is something that the Billings Boomers desperately need there. Yeah, overtime is already starting to count down here. They can't get off the cart anymore or lose a team fight here. The Devil Dukes, though, doing everything, in my opinion, they need to do there. Once they noticed they were losing that fight, they just accept the sweet embrace of death there. They are about to have about 4 ultimates ready to go here. Apple and Obese Chicken will be able to get their things fast. The damage breaks already coming out here from Ducks. Sunless Fiber does have their dragons ready to go here and are using that damage breaks to perfection at the moment. But now the Nano coming out here on to Toast Toast. They're trying to build up another Annihilation here, but they're getting incredible with the Blizzard coming out from Apples here, and it might be around end of your Toasty Toast falls. Here comes the Annihilation from Obese Chicken. They find Ryan, but the Blizzard coming out, but there's no one by the cart because I believe the ice wall stopped them.
It was that and the Blizzard just being there in general. You saw the beat come out just a second late, just to try and like get everyone back on the cart, but just in the nick of time or something like that. But I think that Blizzard, they played too many steps ahead. They were like, okay, we play around this Blizzard, but nah, they don't even have that much time to really play with. As you saw that overtime Wick go down just very fast here. It is 6-6, so that's just what you expect there, but. Oh man, Billings Boomers. They down to the wire though. I would not say they're out of this whatsoever. They did play that to like their egos are still in that confident booster seat. They're in that Evangelion mech of how to really go about this. Looks like they're gonna be sticking with this on the defense, which Devil Dukes. It looks like on the first kind of start of it, it looked like to be a bit of a slower kind of composition. It looks like we're looking at the Hanzos for each side, looking to maybe get a first pick. But then we kind of look at the Ramachas, and so far, Toasty Toast did get that nice little 4K, and we saw the kind of aggression being had for Toasty Toast, which already on that Zarya, I mean, that was the Toasty Toast Zarya, and it looked pretty toasted right there. Obese Chicken looking to try to tear that down with this attack here. There are going to be, this is a flat out mirror this time. Silver Tiles, no Ana, no Kiriko, no funny games. This is raw.
Yeah, and right now, Billings Boomers should feel confident about themselves. They got a pretty good amount on the way. They just cannot lose a quick team fight here to the Devil Dukes. That gives the Devil Dukes all the momentum and probably a lot of ultimate charge as well. But right now, you see each Hanzo trying to find a good angle here to maybe find a lucky headshot onto a member of the other team. Sunless Fiber trying to do whatever they can here. Again, now you just see kind of both of them here going at it, going rock'em sock'em robots here, trying to pop the head off the other one. Not going to be able to do it this time, but a lot of damage being invested by both of them right now. Dragon going to pop over that wall there, try to get a shot on anyone. They're going to be able to find Ducks. That is a huge kill for them, but now you see a lot of members of the Devil Dukes go up there. However, Toastos winning that duel between the Ramachas here, and the Billings Boomers looking the best they have so far. And the Devil Dukes, you're going to definitely see a comp swap here because they're not going to be able to get back in touch.
Let Ramatra's punches headshot is what I have to say. But holy smokes, a fantastic play from Dragons right there. Are they going to be able to touch? No McMissile! Oh, that's tragic right there. But you know what? Absolutely got to hand it to the Billings Boomers right there. That was, dude. I got sweaty from that, dude. These teams are just going at it. I mean, oh my goodness gracious. I toast with the play of the game. But overall, fantastic stuff from both of these teams. Really got to hand it to each and every single player. It really came down to how exactly Overwatch is really played at its core. You know, it's something like that. That was a GR in my books.
Yeah, and honestly, the Billings Boomers, they really impressed me after what was a very struggle fest of their first push phase, or their first attacking phase. Once it got in overtime, they never let off the gas, basically. But then the Devil Dukes came right back out and responded. However, it was just the frequency of when those kills came in that second overtime. The Devil Dukes were able to find an early pick there onto one of the members of the Billings Boomers about 15 seconds in. The first pick on the Devil Dukes push in that second overtime came about a little bit more than halfway into it, which put them at a very awkward situation of, we can't really fall back. We have to commit into this team fight. And by the time they decided that, it just seemed like already more members of the Devil Dukes had fallen.
Yeah, I was saying Shambali specifically is a map that's like very different. Ilios, it's like back and forth. You're down 2, you're like, screw it, I can blade and we'll be fine. It was not like that for Numbani. It was very, one person gets a pick, the rest follow suit. But for this map, it was a really good thinker. It really came down to, okay, this obstacle here, this is where the payload is, and according to my calculations and the ultimate economy for the other team in the next 10 seconds, oh no, my bubble's off cooldown, oh no, the Ramacha's gonna push up soon. It was some crazy stuff, and thank goodness gracious, we're gonna have a halftime, because I think everyone's gonna need just a little bit of a break here.
Yeah, speaking of halftime, we are gonna go to a quick halftime break. We'll be right back with the rest of the series after it.
In the dark, looking for a place to hide you. When I want to run back in the shadows and find you. Oh, tell me I'm wrong, tell me I've gone crazy.
What's up, guys? It's me, the new host of this god-awful Trank halftime show. And I'm here with the Bernard 7, as he's more commonly known, Bernie, and Bubbawyatt. God, he's so mid. Hello.
You're not swinging today, Dabmaster.
Dude, I have no camera and I'm pissed. My camera broke.
Got a new job title. Ego goes to your head in 1 second. Come on, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly.
Why hate? Don't hate.
Just drink a Dr. Pepper, you'll be fine.
Ew, I hate that drink. That drink is awful and disgusting.
Dang. Dude, what?
Okay,
If
obviously...
you hate Dr. Pepper, you're just a child. You're a little tiny little baby.
It sucks. Obviously, back to the match here. We've had a really good match so far, especially that Shambali map. Jeez, 7-6, crazy score.
Yep.
I don't know. We saw a lot of good stuff out of both the teams. I think we saw Devil Dukes come back with the Ram comp, the Zarya comp for the Billings Boomers worked really well. What do you guys think was like a really good comp that both teams played that you guys think they should stick to?
Well, I'll start. I'll say definitely the Shambali comp that Billings Boomers running out. I think that was a big reason for their eventual success on that map, even though they ended on the Ram. Getting 2 full pushes, kind of pulling out this Zarya, which we haven't seen a lot of Zarya in the recent Overwatch meta across, pro play and all of Trank. We've seen more Junker Queen, right? But they were forcing this Zarya, and it was working really well, shutting down a Beast Chicken. Toasty Toast was all over this Zarya, made it really hard for the Junker Queen to get value with Carnage, and was just shutting down shouts. It's really hard to kill the Zarya when they have 2 bubbles, and they're getting Suzu'd, and they're getting carted around by a Lucio.
I agree.
What do you think?
I also liked... I really enjoyed that comp. They did extremely well on it, like with a pretty good stomp on that attack. The counter that the Devil Dukes pulled out, the Ramatra as well, that seemed to work really well on Devil Duke's attack, which I enjoyed. And obviously, Billings Boomers had to switch to their RAM of their own, so I think that Devil Dukes can probably stick to that a decent amount as well. Just don't C9 next time.
I was very unfortunate.
Yeah, don't see
As the manager of Devil Dukes, I'm very, very depressed right now.
biased opinion. Unfortunately,
Yeah, I hate the Billings Boomers. Grr, every single one of them. I'll name out each and every one. I swear to God, my hatred fueled rage. But what is one player you guys really like on both these teams that you think have been performing really well so far?
Bubba, you wanna go first, and then we'll hop into the game here.
Sure. I liked Obese Chicken of the Devil Dukes. I feel like first two maps that they were doing really well, and I don't want to say carrying the team, but they were doing a lot of the damage and getting a lot of elims, especially like those first two maps, and then the Ramatra on their second attack on Shambali was very well played.
And you, Brittany?
Yeah, for sure. If we can get into the game here, production, then I'll show. This was for sure my favorite fight. Was watching this Zarya comp.
Stream me in Discord, you bum.
Oh yeah. I sorry. I keep forgetting to show the other. Maybe you guys don't deserve to see it because this play's just too good.
Oh, you're right.
The main star.
But really, this is definitely my favorite play of the whole match because, when we're looking at these comps, it looks like okay, the Zarya comp wants to play slow, trade some cooldowns with the Zarya bubble, right, and force Queen to use shout so that then they can just push in and slowly let their Zarya get value over time. So, what the Queen comp's going to do here is look to play really, really fast with a rush. So they lose their Mei. Look at the wrong fight. Look at the wrong fight. Oh yeah, sorry. So the Zarya comp gets a nice pick here. And they look to just immediately play fast. Look, they've got this full charge Zarya that's just hard pushing in, immediately going for the backline, not looking to punish this Queen. Lets the Queen have access to the backline. We don't care, right? We're totally down to trade backlines because we know that if this Queen is left alive versus this Zarya, the Zarya is going to win. They just have so much sustain, and there being no Suzu on either side is going to benefit this Zarya more than it's going to benefit the Queen, as the Queen has very little damage mitigation, especially with no shout. And then, of course, I think the most unfortunate thing here, but it's actually a really nice play by Toasty, is this Queen ult gets entirely canceled just by being stuck in the grab here, right? And although they have beat up, the 100 charge Zarya in the rush is just way too much with these empowered right clicks. I think that's like by far my favorite play from Billings Boomer's side. So Dab, I got a question for you, Dab. What was your favorite play of the match so far from either side? You probably think Devil Dukes because you're a biased man, but
yeah. What if I do pick? What are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it?
Well, I might make fun of that Orisa comp on defense on Nambani.
Okay, buddy. Okay. Look, man. Like, it wasn't my choice. All I can say, it wasn't my choice. I had no choice.
Surely.
I don't know. I think
only Ilios was your decision, huh? All right, go.
Okay. I think that the moment, like, so the mastermind named Fish in RVC, coach of my 7, great man. The moment he suggested we pull out the Ramatra on attack, I was like, yeah, we should, right? So as soon as we started playing Ramatra, I think everything just clicked during that second attack. Everything was going super smoothly, and I think overall that second attack from Devil Dukes is by far my favorite moment. Just in general, like all of it.
Yeah, I definitely think there's been a very serious the matchup of the tanks here has been kind of the story of this whole match, right? And that's generally something you see whenever we're seeing a lot of full caps. When we saw, of course, full cap by both teams on both of the maps where that can happen, right? We saw, of course, Control go the distance, and then we saw Nambani go to overtime, and then we saw Shambali go to Devil overtime. And that really tends to happen when there's a lot of really great tank play happening, right? That's making a lot of space when it's generally difficult to push into defenses. But if the tanks are making a lot of space on attack, it's really easy for the DPS to find value and get value from their ultimates and just abilities in general. So I think both Obese Chicken and Toasty Toast have really been setting the pace for their respective teams. And of course, we've seen a lot of counter swapping, all right? Oh, they're playing the Queen, let's go Zarya. Okay, now we're going to go Ramatra, right? So we're seeing a lot of those different playstyles coming out from both teams, which is a little bit different from what we saw in Ilios, where we mostly saw Queen mirror for the entirety of the map.
I agree. And before we head off here, I just want to point out that If you wonder, I said in the Twitch chat that if the game went to 6-6, they would eat a head of lettuce. So I expect that video and Discord discussion within the next hour. Okay?
Next hour. Wow.
Next hour. I'm giving you a time limit of 1 hour to do that video. I just want to point that out.
Let's say before the game's over, so now you have 4 hours.
All right. 2 more draws. Nothing.
4 seems a little short.
That's true.
Yeah, 4. Yeah, maybe we'll take a break and bring it back tomorrow. So maybe you got a little bit of an extra delay.
Yeah.
Hey man, what do you want me to do about that? But yeah, anyways, I think that about wraps it up here. So we're gonna send it back to the casters, and thank you everybody for tuning into this halftime show. It was a lot of fun. Peace, everybody.
In the dark, looking for a place to hide you. When I want to run back in the shadows and find you. Oh, tell me I'm wrong, tell me I'm gone crazy. Ooh, oh, tell me to stay, tell me I'll like this away. A secret, baby.
All right, welcome back from after that halftime break right there. Billings Boomers currently sitting on top of the Devil Dukes 2-0. And McMissile, me and you were talking during the break about, just the play that we've been seeing so far, but mostly it's been highlighted by 2 individuals here.
Yeah, I Toasty Toast and Obese Chicken. First of all, hope you took your notes from the halftime break, everybody watching. Lots of tank play. A good tank play is like, even though it's like not just the players, like, oh yeah, Toasty Toast gets like 5 kills, that's crazy. The rest of the team should also like really be present, and that's what these tanks did such a good job at. I have some replays to really talk over it as well, because like the rest of the team, it really came to so many factors, and I think just the main kind of proficiency as well. Yeah, they can both play a mean Junker Queen, and yeah, the rest of the team can really rely on that fantastically with even a mirror kind of dive kind of thing going on. But you're also seeing like them swap up the compositions to something more divey on Numbani. You're seeing some stuff come out like, oh, let's run something with a Brig, something with an Ana, which are very tactical supports. If you've got a Brig, yeah, you can still run a dive, but if there's an Ana in the mix as well, instead of a Kiriko or a BAP, you're looking at anti-nade, what to go in on, what to go out on. We even saw the Sombra come out. And on Shambali specifically, dude. We saw Zarya, Junker Queen. We saw Ramacha as well. That was like the trifecta of like some fantastic like team. What's your? Do you have a favorite kind of composition for any of these teams yet?
Honestly, like we could talk about what each team has really looked strong with. First, Ronnie on Billings Boomers, they looked really strong on that dive, especially running that diva there. But honestly, I think they really only completed that map because of a back cap coming out from them, just because the Devil Dukes are a little bit too aggressive. But the Zarya comp coming out from both sides honestly really surprised me. I still feel like Zarya is in a really weird spot where you're not necessarily going to see her play a lot. And if you do, you have to be running a specific comp and running into a specific comp. And I think both teams, especially both tanks, really made that Zarya look very viable here. But as we head into New Queen Street, I feel like this is a map where you can see a lot of different comps. So maybe, we're going to see two different comps here, or we'll probably end up just seeing a mirror match with a Junker Queen.
Don't sound so sad. But yeah, New Queen Street is quite the map. It's something a bit more similar to Shambali in the sense where it's like, oh, you can play this, you can play that, but it might come down to something a bit more fair, as you've preluded to. But I think the thing about this that's going to be different from all the other ones, is that the rest of the team can play something a lot more different. Yeah, you can play that kind of dive as we've seen, you know, the Genji, Tracer, the classic supports. Kiriko, I think Kiriko or Amora has kind of the same kind of thing. So Dux, maybe you're still in it to go, but I think we're gonna see a bit of a mix 'em up, I dare say, for the rest of the team heading into 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, okay. This is something to think about, something to chew on. Dux, you're not gonna do it to him. It looks like, but both teams sticking with the Lucio at the least. Mikey might be the one sticking on that Tracer. Yeah, so Devil Duke's running something a bit more classic so far, and Billings Boomers running something a bit more vintage, so to say. Might have got those two words mixed up. That's my bad. But it looks like, yeah, okay, we're gonna get something a bit more spicy for Devil Dukes running the kind of Echo and Dragon on the Hanzo.
And almost a mirror match. It's thank goodness for the DPS at least being different here, but. I mean, this is kind of what I expected, especially when the Billings Boomers came out with the Bastion. I knew they were kind of teasing us there with a lot of their picks. And again, it's just going to be who has the better Jungle Queen. But Dragon picking up right where they kind of left off on from Shambali, finding Obese Chicken out here early. And that's exactly what the Billings Boomers needed here. An early pick, especially onto Obese Chicken. There's not going to be a lot of follow-up pressure. And oh, Dragon's back to finding heads.
Oh god, you can sub out apples all you want, but it looks like Dragons has just got a soft spot for headshotting Tracers at the start of fights, dude. It's some nutty stuff. Billings Boomers, they're getting quite the mileage on this payload bot, but it looks like Devil Duke's back in this fight. They are going to be paying. They're looking to kind of size them up, but before they can even do that, Ryan cuts out Womp Domp.
Yeah, now the Billings Boomers just kind of controlling this barricade right here. Devil Dukes, you know, without that. You know, healing there from Lucio. Yeah, it's not a lot, but it can heal a lot of people. They're kind of playing this safe right now, only with the Karika right now. Having to use the Suzu very early there, but Sunless Fiber able to shut down Dragon here for a moment. However, Mikey gonna fall and just gonna be traded right back out there for Ryan. But now, again, it's basically just a battle here of these two Junker Queens.
Yeah, Ryan's gonna be nice little picks for Sunless Fiber right there. To goes in all this rest of this fight off here. But Ryan on this Genji and now Dragon on the Tracer. Dragon maybe trying to go toe-to-toe with Mikey after getting so many Hanzo kills. But Ryan on this Genji is gonna be quite the kind of mix-up here. Sunless Fiber on the Echo. Maybe you're not looking to necessarily shut down this Echo, but the second that Echo stops flying, the second it's not in a position where they're just like invulnerable, so to say, Billings Boomers are going to totally try and eat that up. As you can already see, Dragon in the position to try and make somewhat of a sandwich maneuver yet again. The lunchable team, but it looks like, yeah, Toasty Toast closes the bread and looks like the rest of the meat is going to be trying to be had.
Yeah, the Rampage finds 3 there from Toastos, and now the Rampage coming out here from Obese Chicken hits 2 as well, but the Blade coming out from Ryan, they're swinging around, not going to be able to find Mikey there. Poopa shuts them down, so nothing coming from that Blade, but definitely a lot of pressure coming out from it, but Obese Chicken will shut down Ryan there. Devil Duke's trying to get control of this bot, going to continue pushing. Dragon getting very low, running to get this large health pack, gonna be able to get it. Womp Domp shutting down Silvertails there. Sunless Fiber now going up against Dragon 1v1 here. However, the Devil Dukes continue to pick up kill after kill here.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're going to need. Billings Boomers did not get that checkpoint, so Devil Duke's going to be trying to take that advantage first. And speaking of advantages, look at the ultimates. 2 DPS ults for Devil Dukes, well, 2 support ults for Boomers, so maybe that's something to think about. But Devil Dukes, they have the momentum, and that's something to think about when Toasty Toast is below 100 HP. And now 2 Junker Queens for the side of Devil Dukes and a beat. But the payload, you know, we'll think about it later as the rest of Billings Boomers trying to reorganize their HP pools to something a bit more stationary.
And that was a huge play there by Toastos getting Sunless Fiber out of that duplication there because of 2 Rampages coming out there. Obese Chicken used their Rampage there, but gets shut down by Ryan. A huge play coming out here from the Billings Boomers, keeping themselves in the lead. Dragon shuts down Sunless Fiber. Mikey comes right back and finds Dragon. However, the Billings Boomers continue to pick up the kills they need to here. And honestly, they might be able to potentially get the forward spawns based off that team fight.
Yeah, some crucial stuff. Devil Dukes are gonna be slipping to a mirror. Don't tell Dex, whatever you do. But now Devil Dukes, you don't really have any ultimates, but you have the aggression, you have the respawns coming in the nick of time to stop them before getting that checkpoint. Ryan is down, but Devil Dukes, nice little anti onto 2 key players, and one of them is out. It's a 4v4.
Yeah, and they got rid of probably the most important one there. Poopa picking up Sunless Fiber as well. The Billings Boomers just picking up kill after kill here. This is definitely going to result in the first
3K.
point in the forward cap. And yet another 3K in this series.
Yeah, 57 meters to add to that. Devil Dukes looking a bit not if like 5 minutes through this game. Holy smokes! Devil Dukes coming up on Mikey Pulse Bomb. So far, both these teams are playing very conglomerate. It's very hard to really get a clear dive onto one target. Everyone is very peeling together very fast. It's hard to really get a sandwich on them too, because everyone just has such a focus on the front line. As you can see, a classic Ducks one right there. Diffs Pooper right there. Diffs Ryan right there with the headshot. Diffs Toasty Toast with the headshot as well. And Dexatron, I believe that's a 1-2-3K right there.
You would be correct there. I believe that's how you count. But I mean, again, we've seen a lot of 3Ks this series here. It's just staggering the amount we've seen. The forward spawns now reset, so Billings Boomers don't have that advantage here at the moment. Devil Dukes now have to try to get the forward spawns themselves to at least tie the Billings Boomers here at the moment, but still some ultimates to be played with here. Rampage is coming out from both sides here. Beats coming out from both sides. It's an ultimate for an ultimate for an ultimate here. The blade coming out from Ryan. They're trying to find anything with it this time. Are they going to be able to find something with it? They're going to be able to find Sunless Fiber there, but the Billings Boomers here find the kills they need. Devil Dukes going back to spawn, trying to just hold on to this card as long as they can. Mikey, though, will find Silver Tiles there. And Mikey could be able to kind of turn this fight around. Toasto does shut down Mikey there, even with a pulse bomb stuck to their back.
Yeah, just try to go for it right there, and yeah, exactly. You saw the vision right there. Devil Dukes. It looks like they've noted. Yeah, like yeah, we could leave Toasty to die a lot of the time, or like kill everyone else first. Not on this map, not on New Green Street. You saw a lot of times at the start of fights, Toasty falling very low, forcing out a bell from Silver Tiles at the start of a lot of fights. So not really having it later on. So that's where a lot of the time where still Devil Dukes comes in, like, all right, we can turn things around, because it's down to the resource management now for Billings Boomers. They really got to be on top of their stuff, but Devil Dukes seem to be really having that in order. Checklists are checked, bucket lists are had, buckets are kicked. Sunless Fiber.
Dragon Blade coming out from Sunless Fiber immediately gets shut down again. They have not had a good time with these Dragon Blades here lately. Toast finds Womp Top, and now they're going after the duel here with the Jungle Queens. Toast right now, the reigning member of the royalty. Silver Tiles is able to fall Mikey there, and the Billings Boomers, again, in control of the bot, gonna be looking to get this forward spawns back again. Dragon kind of playing a little bit up further here to try to stop Devil Dukes from coming out. Same thing with Ryan. Looks like they want to try to stop him as well.
Yeah, they are going to get some progress. You know, you're not too far behind if you're Devil Dukes, not looking too down if you're, so to say. They come up on some ultimates coming up. Billings Boomers, the only ultimate they really have is Junker Queen. Poopa does not have that beat, which is very important, and no Kiriko. Well, this is support else for both sides that are really what you're going to be wanting your eyes on, but one thing you can look at the top area of the screen is Ducks out. Kitsune is out as well, but Dragon picking up too.
Yeah, Ducks being able to get that Kitsune out there won't necessarily lead to much in this fight. Obie's Chicken does find Ryan. However, again, the Billings Boomers here are just going to be able to continue pushing up this card. But Obie's Chicken, you know, picking up some slack here, picking up some kills with especially low health here. Again, now they're getting back into this one here. Mikey trying to find Silver Tiles there, will be able to. Now they're focused on Poopa. Womptoff, though, will get the diff there in that one. Toastos going to try to keep themselves alive, try to get these forward spawns back up for the rest of their team here, and I believe everyone for the Billings Boomers will be able to get that forward spawn.
Yeah, especially Toasty's Toast, who did get diffed. Yeah, that again, the kind of Junker Queens for both sides, but Devil Dukes. So it looks like they are going to go to that Moira. Coming up on several ultimates is Boomers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Devil Dukes coming up on 1, 2, 3. But I mean, again, you may be down one, but you got this Moira to play with now. You can have a lot more mid-fight sustainability for those ultimates. Ryan does cut one down, but this is still very up in the air.
Rampage comes out here from Obese Chicken, but Ryan's Dragon Blade finds two. Toasto's able to knife Obese Chicken there. So nothing coming from that Rampage again from Obese Chicken, and the Billings Boomers back in control of the spot. 90 seconds left to go. They have a pulse bomb ready to go. They're about to have a Rampage ready to go. They're probably gonna get forward spawns off of this team fight here again. The Devil Dukes, in my opinion, might need to make some sort of swap somewhere just to try to get anything to go their way, because it hasn't really worked out so far.
We'll have to see how it goes. They did switch to that more, still getting the kind of same kind of amount of success, so it's looking to be something a bit more the kind of mid-fight. Billings Boomers have quite the grasp on it, and speaking of grasp, just yoinks Obese Chicken, but in the midst of that, Obese Chicken shoots down Ryan, and it looks to be the Devil Dukes having the advantage here, considering the spawns are closer.
Dragon does have this pulse bomb ready to go. Sunless does find one, but Toast immediately comes right back and finds Sunless. The pulse bomb coming out, won't be able to find anyone nor find a lot of damage right now. It's pretty even across the board. Mikey able to find Silver Toast, might force the Billings Boomers here to fall back as they probably need to here. But 40 seconds left to go here. Toast falls. Yeah, they're definitely falling back off of that kill right there, but they should still get the forward spawns. Devil Dukes though, this is probably the best they've looked so far. They have 2 ultimates ready to go, about to have 2 more as well, so about 4 ultimates ready to go. Billings Boomers on the other hand will need to build some ultimates here quickly if they want to try to counter some of them.
Yeah, that last fight, they try to go a bit more, bite a little bit more off than those kangaroos could chew. Don't know how much kangaroos actually can chew, but I guess we'll just have to see how the rest of the game kind of plays out. Looks like Duck's going to start off yet again, just an aggressive ulting support right there. Going to come out very much handy, finding 2 picks. Make it 3!
Making another 3K here, but hey, give a lot of credit here to Dragon slowing down this cart. Finally, Mikey able to shut them down there. We're in overtime right now. Devil Dukes will be able to get these forward spawns here off of that team fight win right there. And they only use that Coalescence, so Womp Dump will have their beat ready to go here. A lot of ultimates gonna be ready here for Devil Dukes. They can still put up a hell of a fight, but the Billings Boomers now, they're coming back in this fight. They're about to have a couple ultimates as well, maybe 4 potentially ready to go. So it could be a pretty even fight across the board here for both teams.
Yeah, the ultimate economies are going to be on point. Dux is out, but that's okay, because considering you've got a beat and a blade to your name, looks like, yeah, it's going to be a 44. The Kiriko's out. No heals now for the side of Billings Boomers.
The Rampage comes out from both sides here. Looks like the Devil Duke's getting a little bit more out of it. Ryan does find Sunless Fire here. Mikey shuts down Ryan. And now Obese Chicken just trying to get rid of Dragon here. Dragon's doing a good job of just eating some time. You're waiting for their teammates to get back in this fight. Devil Dukes do have these forward spawns, but the bot is still a long way away from those spawn doors.
Oh gosh, and 4 ultimates for Billings Boomers. You don't have the beat just yet. That might be coming down to the 20%, every moment does matter. Mikey has that pulse bomb, and I'm just gonna hold my breath here.
The Kasuna coming out. Here comes the blade as well. Already slicing and dicing and finding one. Make it 2. Not gonna be able to get a 3K just yet. Dragon finds Obese Chicken. Everything going the way of the Billings Boomers here. There's that 3rd kill for a 3K, and a team kill for the Billings Boomers as they are 1 map win away from moving on to the semifinals.
Ryan slash and dash and Fruit Ninja style with that blade, with that Kitsune right there. Oof, that was some mean stuff. Holy smokes, it got hot on this new Queen Street, the icy streets of Canada. Holy smokes. I mean, it really did come down to the wire right there. It did look very winnable for Devil Dukes right there. But the Kitsune pressure was had for Billings Boomers in those last moments, and I think just the ability kind of like, all right, we got a couple more swings in on that blade. That really did come in handy because he was like 20 HP, got healed up by the rest of the team right there. And I'm not saying it wasn't like not winnable just because they weren't on Kiriko for Devil Dukes, obviously. Just a rest of like, got picked off earlier. It was a 4v5 scenario. They made use of what they could have. So either way, Dux was out of the fight. Either way, it was a 4v5. They made it even no matter what. They had so many ults to play with as well. Well, they had Mikey's pulse bomb. and with that, they've been very calm and collected when they had that. They didn't just chuck it in. Even if it doesn't necessarily get a pick, the pressure is always there from the Tracer of Mikey specifically. That's why you saw Dragon swap off to Tracer in the kind of start of this game, and you saw kind of Ryan go into that mirror. You eventually saw Boomers mirror Devil Dukes because they saw the kind of advantages of the positions that Devil Dukes' characters could have on New Queen Street. And when it came to that last kind of fight, I mean, it was just such a I really just hold my breath for it, because holy smokes, it could have gone either way.
Yeah, but honestly, it really just came down to that last fight that the Billings Boomers were able to hold on to some of their ultimates there. The Devil Dukes had to basically use whatever ultimates they had in almost every team fight there in that last kind of minute there of that round, because they couldn't lose a team fight, and the moment they did, the round pretty much ended there. But you have to give the Devil Dukes a lot of credit there. I thought at a moment there they pretty much needed to try to make a swap, go to something different, see if it works there, because I thought the mirror match they were running into definitely favored the Billings Boomers a little bit more here, but in the end, the ultimate just won out there for the Billings Boomers, and they won that map. 1 map away now from heading on to the semifinals. Devil Dukes now have their backs up against the wall here. They're going to be able to pick this next map. I believe it will be another control map. And they won the first map of the night here. They won that control map of Helios. So they have to be picking this map here with 100% confidence that they feel like they can win it.
Yeah, Ilios, they did win it, but it kind of ended up being a very back and forth kind of scenario. It depended on Ruins, and then the next one, Lighthouse, and then it ended up being on Well. Well was the big kind of factor here, because a lot of these control points, some of them have something you can play around, like Nepal, like the kind of big kind of pit. You can play around that pretty well. But if we're looking at something like Oasis, there's absolutely like no room for like any sort of like foul play. It's something a bit more like reminiscent of the second map that we played, Numbani, where it's like one fight, one pick. Good. It's Antarctica.
Still, yeah, we're heading to Antarctic Peninsula for our 5th map here tonight. First map of the night that could potentially be our last map here. But Devil Dukes have something to say about that here. They're bringing us to Antarctic Peninsula for a reason. Still one of the newer maps here, and I always say people pick this map because they definitely feel like the other team has not either played on it enough in a competitive setting, scrimmed on it enough, or just hoping that the newness of this map, the other team necessarily hasn't gotten enough practice with it.
You're opting for them to hopefully not know how to play the map as well as you, yeah. And I mean that's a fair kind of way to go about doing this. And if we're looking beyond that, if we're looking at like the actual map of Antarctica, yes, it's very new. Maybe something a bit more reminiscent of Shambali, where it's like you get a first fight pick, but then you've really got to fight for like making your name like made for that. So I think that's going to be the kind of reminiscent thing of that. But looking at comp wise, we might again maybe see a kind of mirror queen matchup. Don't tell Dex. But we're we're also going to see like you can really play a really good Mei. And speaking of good Meis, that's what came in very much clutch for Shambali. What kind of compositions would you think would come out with for the side of DPS or supports?
I mean, supports, it's all kind of based off what we're going to see tank-wise. And honestly, I feel like this map kind of plays better into a Ramatra on most points. But with Junker Queen's buffs, still Junker Queen, I imagine we're going to see basically what we have been seeing from both teams here. A Lucio, definitely a Moira for one side and a Kiriko for the other. Maybe we see, a straight mirror match again. I'm not opposed to that here. I feel like, it's kind of what the meta is at the moment to be running some of these comps. But again, I feel like there's all 3 sub points on this map. I feel like you could run something different. That's why I'm kind of leaning towards maybe most of the time we'll see Ram here, but with the Junker Queen buffs, as I said, probably still going to be seeing a lot of the Queen here.
Ram's a pretty good point, though. Ram is a really good point. I think I think it'll be more of a mix up. Maybe they both start off on Junker Queen, the mirror, blah blah blah. But I think then we could see Ramata try and counter that, just like how we saw Zarya come out to try and counter the Junker Queen, and that worked very well. So I think if we head into something like that, I think we'll again see the Hanzo probably. So trying to get like a fight off, so that way the front line has less like stuff to deal with, like the tank can just like keep focusing on the front line, kind of line of scrimmage rather than getting an actual pick. Which is kind of what tank kind of boils down to. It looks like the first map is going to be something a bit more Hanzo kind of favored. Also maybe a Sombra, just throw it out there. But with 10 seconds left, it really is just all in the control of each of these players. Jagan, Ryan, Toasty, Silver Talls, Pufo for the side of Billings Boomers, and for the side of Devil Duke, Sunless Fiber, Mikey, Obese Chicken Ducks, and Womp Domp. Yeah, we're gonna.
This is kind of what I expected to see here. I mean, Ryan still hasn't picked it, but I imagine they're going with a Tracer, kind of been what they've been running here. Maybe a Mei. They have came out on the Mei a couple of times. Dragon coming out on the Hanzo. Not necessarily surprised by it either. They have been able to pop off on Hanzo throughout this series here tonight, and it was a very big factor why they were able to get such a good lead on New Queen Street. Finding a headshot there, I believe it was onto Mikey, or onto Apples actually, kind of gave them a lot more mileage on that barrier.
Absolutely. And heading into this, it looks like both teams going to be opting for the Kiriko Lucio. Very much speedy, very much like try and get that first kind of the starts and ends of fights, or so to say. Looks like, yeah, the Junker Queen of Obese Chicken going to be falling very low, going to be having to use that shout. I heard a bell as well. Looks like Ryan gets the Genshi diff though on its almost fiber in that kind of off angle.
Yeah, Sunless Fiber flew a little bit too close to the sun there, got too far into the backline there for the Billings Boomers, paid the price there, and the Billings Boomers definitely looking to try to cap this point here first, and they will be able to, and Obese Chicken falling right after that, and Toast finding Womp Top. Ryan gonna find Ducks to deny the 3 kill there for their tank, but again, a good start here for the Boomers.
Very, yeah, going off to the Echo right away. Absolutely has nothing to do with the diff. Obviously, just a very personal choice. This Echo is a fantastic choice for you can fly around pretty well, as you can already see. It's kind of like the Pharah, but in this case scenario, you can get those off angles a lot more freely. You don't have to necessarily get healed too much. You're getting a lot of value. Oh, goodness gracious. Dragon strikes again.
Like I said, Dragon has been able to pop off on this Hanzo in the past, so it's not shocked that we're seeing them come back out on it here. And if they're able to find early kills like that every team fight, it's gonna be an easy round win for their team. Dragon does fall there to Sunless Fiber, but again, the damage already done in this team fight. Devil Duke's falling back to spawn to pick up their fallen teammates, and the Billings Boomers already 50% to completing this point.
Yeah, looking pretty good for the Billings Boomers. Not a lot of ultimates used at that, well, no ultimates really used. Devil Duke's coming up on some ultimates of their own. I think this is going to be kind of risky how they kind of go about this. Mikey having the pulse bomb again has been a very big factor in a lot of those fights, openers. If Dragon has been the opener for Billings Boomers, Mikey, I dare say, even though maybe not getting a lot of first fight picks, a lot of first fight value. Speaking of first fight picks, Dragon strikes yet again, but this time it was on Obese Chicken, which is a little bit quirky, I dare say. Ryan falling too, but I think yeah, playing around this Joker Queen is going to be very different from any of the other maps. You got to play around Dragon this time around.
Yeah. 80% and counting here for the Boomers, about to come up on all their ultimates essentially. Same thing for the Devil Dukes. And if the Boomers can get a good early engage with some of these ultimates, they can prevent the Devil Dukes from even touching this point here.
Yeah, this is going to be a nail biter right here. No ultimates used this entire round. So 5 ults to play with for both sides. Looks like ultimate's going to be out, starting off with the Dragons, but Dux is out, but the beat is in.
Yeah, beat in. Here comes the blade, though, from Ryan. Dragon already finding 2. Now the Rampage coming out from both Joker Queens here. Ryan, though, able to find one. The beat now coming out from Poofa. And essentially, at this point, the Billings Boomers just looking to wrap up this point here. Just have to get rid of the DPS line here for the Devil Dukes. Dragon, though, does fall. Here comes Sunless Fiber back in, and now you're starting to see some members of the Devil Dukes come back in. Ducks on this Moira coming back in, but immediately going to be taken out here by the entirety of the Billings Boomers. Now they're getting rid of that Lucio, and now Billings Boomers 1 sub point away here from moving on to the next round. The Devil Dukes need to come from behind here.
You know what everyone needs to do right now? Clip and record, or whenever this replay is done, right? You gotta write down this replay code, because that fight right there is what Overwatch. You're gonna want to study that. Both teams having 5 ultimates. It came down to who ulted when, where, and why. It was insane. Dragon starting off with a Dragon Strike, then you saw the Kitsune coming out from the side of Devil Dukes, and at that point, you know, it became somewhat of a flurry of colors, but it was not a flurry of colors for each of these teams, or each of these players. That, like, I'm gonna be looking back at that. That's some crazy stuff. You're gonna be wanting to like why everyone ulted there, but screwing on all of that, looks like Devil Dukes is going to be coming out with a Ramattra this time. They're going to try to change things up with the Baptiste. It is indoors. You're not going to be having that Echo as well. You're going to be having a lot more proficiencies and running something a little bit more structured, a little bit more your pace, your style, with your patience of play. Devil Dukes pressing the aggression.
Yeah, and this is exactly what they want to do here. Honestly, this is the map I thought we would see a Ramattra on. I kind of thought we would saw him on the last map as well, but this is definitely a map I expected to see the Ramattra on. But Devil Dukes with their backs against the wall here. They need to try to get some aggression going early, but Dragon already finding Ducks out early, kind of just not allowing them to play a lot here. Billings Boomers going to be able to cap point first, but you immediately see the Devil Dukes jump down straight on the point. Sunless Fiber going to fall there to Ryan. Toast winning the tank duel at the moment, and again, you're just seeing the Billings Boomers here clean up.
Yeah, she's the Shimada Bros just going at it in this icy tundra. Holy smokes! All right, you came up on a lot of ultimate charge for Devil Dukes right there. You're already making plays with this Obese Chicken, the Ramattra. You're playing for that high ground, which Ramattra, I dare say, has the advantage there, because you have that slow ability, which straight up, I feel like, counters the Joker Queen setup. You can already see Billings Boomers playing passive yet again, kind of luring them into them, then they collapse on them. But Devil Dukes with this May now, the wall, really making use of it to the fullest extent. Ryan is out. You got a lot less mobility than you used to.
Here comes the Analyst from Obese Chicken. They have one target in mind, and that would be Toast here. The beat coming out from Poopa a little bit too late. Devil Dukes looking like they should be able to cap the point off this team fight. Mikey does find Silvertoes there. They do cap point, and now Puma might be a little bit too far into this fight. They will fall there. Dragon's going to have to fall back to make sure they don't get punched to death by this robot.
Yeah, no, holy smokes. Ryan just, just slowly, gonna be taking a little bit more time to come back from spawn right there. Devil Dukes doing fantastic on their ultimate economy so far. Yeah, as I said, they're gonna have somewhat of an advantage here with this kind of composition on the high ground. Billings Boomers opting to place up for something. We collapse in on them. We conglomerate onto them. Devil Dukes, they don't have to do that. They can go for more individual off angles. They can walk forward. They can walk backwards. They have kind of an omnipotent presence. Dragons tries to take it away, but as you can already see, Devil Dukes still in this fight, very much so.
Downdraft's coming out here from Ducks and hits 4 members of the Devil Dukes. However, the Devil Dukes find the next 2 kills. Toastos will eventually be able to find one. The Blizzard just too cold there for Ryan. Able to knock them out there. And now the Devil Dukes taking control of the lead here on this map.
As you can see, that's a tank play right there. You can get all the flashy stuff you want with that Junker Queen ult, but if you're a good tank player, that really just means you're a good team player. And in this moment, looks like Toasty is going to be going for that kind of play, going to that Ramacha, trying to go head to head, toe to toe. It looks like Sunless Fiber all the way on that off angle on the side of the map that a lot of people kind of even forget about. That place even has a jump pad. Looks like Ryan going to be trying to go after it, but already falling dangerously low. Silver Talon starts to make up for it with the Casino Rush, but it looks like, oh my goodness gracious, 2 picks had for Billings Boomers.
Blade coming up, beat coming up from Womtom's a little bit too late here. Here comes the annihilation from Obese Chicken. It needs to be huge here, considering they're all that's left for the Devil Dukes on this point. But now, hey wait, they do find Silvertown, so, that is a good pick for them in their dying moments. However, Billings Boomers retake the point here. Devil Dukes, though, did get 88%.
They did, and they had such a good setup for the next fight. I mean, look at all the ultimates they use. I mean, they're kind of, both teams looking pretty dry here. Toast maybe not same as Dragons, but somewhat, right? Devil Dukes, they were set up so well, but then the front line, the line of scrimmage where the front line really was, Billings Boomers had that, and they played it to an extent. Ryan was off to the side. That means Dragons was able to have that kind of front line presence, whereas Mikey was the only front line presence for Devil Dukes, and that's where Billings Boomers kind of had advantage of, just fight on the point, But now, oh goodness gracious, it's 80. It's 1 fight territory, and Devil Dukes are 2 players down.
Yeah, make it 3 there, and now at this point, it's final fight territory in this series here. Devil Dukes gonna come into it with 0 ultimates on the board, but will they even be able to get back in touch? We do see a touch there from Sunless Fiber. Now here comes the rest of the Dukes here. The annihilation coming out from Toastos, just trying to melt down anyone. The Dragons coming out from Dragon. Finds Obese Chicken. This is looking like it might be the beginning of the end here. Ryan finds 2. Can they make it a 3rd? They won't be able to, but they won't necessarily care here, because after Mikey falls here, the Billings Boomers will be securing their ticket with a team kill into the next round.
GG. Holy smokes. I mean, it's a 4-1. It didn't really feel like it, I'm gonna be honest. That was some crazy stuff, neck and neck. Every single fight was on the wire. Antarctic Peninsula, though, I think that was the quirkiest map yet of all these 6 maps that we did play. I mean, I think it came like the second point in particular looked a bit more even Steven. Looked like Obese Chicken on the Ramacha really knew how to throw down with the rest of the team. Mikey on this May, though, I think that was the kind of factor that maybe like Boomers took a lot of advantage of. May not really. It's kind of like a Sombra, where it's kind of like, yeah, it's there, but like it's there in a technical sense. So that means the Devil Dukes, if you're gonna play a Tracer with that, if you're gonna play a Hanzo with that, you're really gonna have to be on top of exactly where you want to go, when you want to do it. Especially if you're gonna be playing against a team who's as good at diving in on and really pouncing, really a Venus flytrap kind of maneuver from Billings Boomers. That reflexiveness it came in such handiness for there. We didn't get to see it a lot of these different maps. As you can see, the replay is going on. We saw a lot of different themes from these teams, even though it was a mirror match. A lot of the time, we saw so many different moments of where it wasn't. A lot of times where individual play came out to such great extents. And I think that's at the end of the day, if I'm gonna get knocked out in a qualifier match, if it came down to this, something like this, I mean, I'm not like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, like honestly, you said it right at the start of it all there. 4-1 in the final score of this one. It does not feel like a 4-1. This was an incredibly close series across the board. Ilios went all 3 points. hell, Shambali Monastery.
Oh god. Oh god.
It took, what, 6 rounds? It took 6 rounds to decide a winner on Shambali Monastery. That kind of shows you how close this series was here. That we essentially went back to the days of Overwatch 1 with 2 CP, where it just goes on and on forever. But, like, you know, we talked about the tanks throughout the night, but there were several points where we could easily talk about the DPS lines for both sides. Sunless Fiber, Mikey, Apples did great for the Devil Dukes. Billings, Boomers, Dragon, and Ryan also did great. Dragon coming alive in those last couple maps there with that Hanzo, in my opinion, was a big difference maker. Able to find a lot of headshots, able to find a lot of damage. Like that one right there, that really pretty much gave him easily that team fight win very early, because without that Lucio healing, it really came down to it there. Yeah, look at the scoreboard here. This was an incredibly close series across the board. 7-6 on Shambali Monastery is insane. Absolutely insane, especially when you consider that both teams had about less than a minute and a half in their initial overtime round there. It went 2 overtimes. I mean, these teams came out here to play tonight, and unfortunately, one team's season is done while the other one is moving on to the Final Four.
Hey, fine with me, man. I'm not playing. No, but honestly, like, if I could shake all of their hands, holy smokes. And next season, oh god, like, I'm already stressing. Like, if these players could, oh my god, man. But GG all around. Is there a player of the match for you?
I mean, we talked about the tanks throughout the night, but like I said, I feel like Dragon, especially on that Hanzo in the last couple maps coming alive, was such a big difference maker for their team that I actually gotta give it to Dragon.
Hey, the holy smokes, Dragon got so many first fight picks, dude. Holy smokes. If I can have the honor of scrimming against the Dragon, dude, just to find out how on earth that even happened, dude. But for mine, I'm gonna give it to I'll give it to frickin' Toasty Toast, right? Yeah, it's gonna have to be freaking Toasty Toast, dude. I mean, holy smokes. I mean, like, if I was gonna make like an I Am Bread reference to the video game just because it reminded me of Toast. It took me all the way back there, dude. Years ago, like Markiplier making a rage sauce, like holy smokes, dude. The Joker Queens, the pulls, the ways that they were played, the Zarya, the famed Zarya coming out to counter a Joker Queen. Maybe that's a valid thing now. Like you saw here first in Tranquility, freaking Season 10, dude, and I could go on and on. I think we've already said like so much about it, but I think I'm done.
Yeah, that will do it for us here tonight. Make sure you guys tune back in tomorrow for our final series of the week here. Quick shout out to everyone behind the scenes that helped us out tonight. Finif, Hippy, Kryy, and KhazixMayJump, they all did great tonight, making sure everyone got everything they needed, and also FinProd as well. I'm sorry, I forgot them. But they all did great. Thank you, everyone, for coming out tonight to watch this one. McMissile, it was a pleasure as always, and I'll let you sign us off.
I'll Dexatron, have a fantastic night. Everybody in the production team, have a good night. Everyone watching, have a fantastic night. I'm gonna have a fantastic night as well. So let's all just have a good night together, get some good sleep. What's that one funny thing that they said in the something about please shut up and sleep or something like that. But
I think
have a good one.
I think you're referencing a book that is not.
Yeah.
PG. All right, that'll do it for us. Good night, y'all.